Hello.
Good morning, guys. Do you see me properly? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Very good, very good. Good morning, Marlon. How
Good
about
morning.
others? Can you all see me and hear me?
Yes, I can see you and I can hear you. I
Okay,
can put in my screen right now because I'm here in the street and
Okay,
sometimes
okay, I got it. Good
you
morning,
know.
guys. Safe drive. Okay. Do you see me properly? Yes. Who is that? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes,
Do you
who is
hear
that?
me? Yes. Is
Yes,
it? Who is that? Very good. Very good. Good morning, Marlon.
good morning.
How about others? Can you all see me and hear me?
Yes, I can see you and I can hear you. I
Okay,
can put in my screen right now because I'm here in the street and sometimes
Okay, I got it. Good morning, guys. Safe drive. Okay. Do you see me properly? Yes. Who is that? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Do you hear me? Yes. Is it, who is that? Very good. Very good. Good morning, Marlon.
Good morning.
How about others? Can you all see me and hear me?
Yes, I can see you and I can hear you. I can put in my screen right now because I'm here in the street and sometimes
Okay, I got it. Good morning, guys. Safe drive. Okay. Do you see me properly? Yes.
Yeah, we hear you.
Leo, we can see you. Yes.
But it's
Yeah,
hollow.
everything is
It's hollow. You
Yes.
might need an ear plug and a mouse
Can you all see me
and a
and hear
mic.
me?
yes, I can see you and I can hear you.
Leo, we need a mic so that we can hear you clearly. It's kind of like too hollow.
Hey guys, a small mistake in my setup or what? It was again recording the same thing. That's why I had to take a 2 minutes break off. And do you hear me now?
Yes.
Very good. Sadiq, you hear me?
Sound is much better.
Very good. Okay. Rajesh? Okay, guys. I hope we are good to go. Okay, guys. Thank you. So today, Mastermind is the second month. February, January, we had it. And second month Mastermind is this. But every month seminar, the training is totally independent. So even if you did not come to the last month one, doesn't matter. You can come here. And the next month is going to be March. And of course, whatever we did in the January month will come in at the rotation. I will let you know those who did not come before. So I hope that will help you because some people are here new and some people are guests for the half session. So they all may be wondering, how can I join this 6 months mastermind or 1 year mastermind if it is a second one? We are going to talk about underwriting a property. That's all the whole topic for today. Yeah, so that's all the whole topic for today. And last month we were talking about how to find great properties. Many people have problem and question nowadays, how can we find a good property? Even for the last half an hour, 9 o'clock to 9:25, I was having a coaching call from a potential student from Ottawa. He is a business owner and everything is doing great. And he has 2 properties, $1.8 million. Even then, he has a problem. One problem, that is, he got some government loan about $40,000 or $30,000. That is bothering him because now he has to pay. He has a business, but that business is a little bit slow now, so he doesn't get enough cash flow. For that reason, he is panicking. So first thing I told, you are a business owner. Second, you are an investor. So if you are a business owner, he is about 45 or 47 years old. If you are a business owner, first of all, you have to think, if you are going to the next level or if you really pivot for the next stage, definitely you will have some fear and anxiety. Most of the time, the fear triggers based on the past experience. If that is the case, it's not worth it. So we have to understand, okay, just because my previous bad experience, I'm again fearing that the same thing may happen in future. That is bad. That is based on the past experience, because we have past experience, good and bad, but most of the time the bad experience really stop us taking the next step. So that is totally unnecessary. One. Second one, the anxiety. Anxiety mostly triggers because of the future events. We think about some other thing that may happen to us. And of course, 99% of the time that will not happen, the bad things. 99% of the time, good things happen, but bad things don't happen. But we try to pull it into the future, current and present, and just worry about that. That is how the anxiety triggers. So we should not worry about that too much. If you analyze that and if you really understand, yes, whether it is anxiety or fear, it is part of the traveling as a business owner or investor. Then if you understand that, you will not really feel that pain to that greatness. Sometimes like one of my friends, he told me, yes, every single business owner, every single real estate investor is having a lot of trouble, fear and anxiety because the market is such. But this is part of the game. This is part of the winning. So you have to take that positively and go. Most of the time, people don't have fear or whatever, maybe on RRS, ODSP, or even government pension or their own pension, whatever. They know exactly how much they are going to get on what date, and they know exactly how much is their payment, because probably they will not have any payment other than food and their rent. If you are ready, or if anybody is ready like that, okay, but none of us are doing or ready for that, because we don't mind having some uncertainty, but we want to have a better life and better net worth and things like that. That is the reason we decided to go further with enough pain or whatever. So we had to really work for that. So 100% we have to understand that, and we can go. So here we are going to talk about underwriting. The main thing problem is here in Toronto or Canada is right now the properties are a little bit lower price, but at the same time, the interest rate has gone a little higher. For that reason, finding the right property is a little difficult. But at the same time, if you approach it in a proper manner, and if you decide how many properties you want to go for, you can definitely find. I know already I'm working with few other students. They already started looking properties. They brought enough properties back to me. So we are finding which is the best. So that is what we are going to do now. Last month, of course, finding good properties. This month, we are going to see the underwriting process. So we can go for the next slide. And if you have any questions, you can stop me in between. So this is going to be about from 9:30 to 4:30 p.m. Probably I will be able to stop by 4 o'clock if possible. And of course, the reason or the purpose of this the training is to find your first multifamily properties. Find your first multifamily property in 90 to 180 days. So that is our target and the purpose of this training for the whole 6 months to 1 year. So, and of course, my strategy is without, even if you are not having any experience or down payment or credit or income, we should be able to move forward into this real estate career. But of course, for that, we have to really work hard. And of course, you can just decide, or you may have decided already, what sort of multifamily property that you want to buy this year. So you just imagine by December 31st, 2023, you should have at least 1 or 2 or whatever number of properties you decide, and it can be a duplex, triplex, or whatever. So you decide that, because that destination is very, very important. Okay, as a regular disclaimer, of course, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an accountant, I'm not giving you the tax advice, but of course, you have to consult your own advisors for that specific advices. Here, I'm giving my experience and I'm sharing my opinion. And of course, as I told, the multifamily benefits are, first one is a tax benefit. Second one is scaling benefit. That means you can go and grow any number of properties. After some time, if you buy a single detached property, the bank will say, no, we will not give you the mortgage because you already bought enough properties because they have a cap. So in multifamily commercial properties, there is no limit like that. So that is the main reason we decided to go for it. And the third one is high profit potential. But sometimes people may be wondering how it can be high profit. It is only a rent and things like that. It is not really that. We have lots of opportunity to increase the profit by buying multifamily property. We can show that. The other one is, of course, it is the safest asset class in my opinion, because single family has a fluctuation and it'll get disturbed during the recession time. Multifamily will not be that much because single family people are buying for renting purpose or otherwise for them to live. So that demand, single detached properties most of the time get the demand from the new people who are going to buy and live in that property. But in multifamily, everybody, your target market is going to rent. So in a bad economy or recession time, people try to sell their own house and still want to go to a multifamily property or apartment property on a rent basis. And of course, new immigrants are coming, so they cannot just buy a property immediately on their own. So they will also go for rentals. So at that time, multifamily property is always number one, and it is the safest asset class in my opinion. And of course, recession proof. That's the reason I'm telling you. Next one, of course, even if you don't have much personal income, still you can qualify to buy a multifamily property. And of course, even if your bad credit is there or the credit is not that great, still you can do it. And even with down payment or less down payment, you can buy a multifamily property with the right strategies. I don't recommend that all the time to everybody, but definitely it is possible. I'm a living example. That's what I did. That's what I'm doing even now. And the other one is, of course, management is easy, as I told you, and maintenance is easy. The reason is, of course, this is economics of scale. If you buy a property with 6 units, of course, you can put somebody to take care of that property to manage that rent collection or even maintenance. And of course, more cash flow because more than 1 unit. So you're collecting more than 1 rent. The last one, of course, can increase the market value even in the recession time. That is a real benefit in multifamily and commercial units. Can anybody tell or raise your hand if you don't understand what I mean by that? Or you don't really understand if it is possible? Anybody can raise your hand, or even you can just raise your question. Because if you understand that, then only you will move forward in this current market. Because the current market, people are saying it is recession, some people are saying it yet to hit, some people say, no, it is not. Anything can happen, anybody can talk anything, but we are going to continue multifamily investment.
Leo, what do you mean by increase the market value even in recession?
Yes, because in single family, very good question. So in single family, what happens now? Because last year, even $1.5 million worth property are available in the market for about 1.3 million now. That means just because one property sold for less, because the demand is less, immediately the next property closer to that, if it is a similar property, that price also comes down. So recession time or in economic crisis time, single family properties will immediately get affected by the price, because single family property demand and supply is highly combined by an investor buyer as well as a first time buyer as well as a consumer buyer. That means they want to buy and live there. So those type of people are the major people who buy that type of property. So whenever the news says interest is going to go high, or if the news says the economy is bad, or anything coming in the news, a negative message, automatically the general public, the potential buyers, stay away, get back. They will simply say they are real estate agent, hey buddy, I don't want to see any properties for the next 6 months, don't even call me. If you ask why, they will say, no man, because the economy is not good, the bank rate is going to go high, and of course it's going to be recession time, so I don't want to buy. So you can simply understand the demand for single detached house is coming from majority from what side? The people who want to go and live. Only a small percentage or less percentage is buying a property for them to rent it to somebody else, right? So that demand is totally different. In multifamily, it is not that. Multifamily is bought by whom? Only by investors. And only it is for the rental purposes. So in that case, the buying multifamily is only a step taken by potential investors. Only problem there, not every so-called investors are real investors. Even though they are buying a multifamily or rental property, still they name them as an investor, but they are not really behaving like investors sometimes. That is the only problem, because sometimes they like to go into that direction, they start, even then they don't have enough knowledge. For that reason, they are unable to behave like an investor. So they try to behave like a potential normal buyer to the numbers. So that is the reason some amount of multifamily investors also not behaving and giving the offer right now. But other than that, every savvy investors are even now looking for properties and dissecting the property, underwriting the property, giving offers, checking the properties and buying the property and renovating. Everything is going on reasonably. Some sort of uncertainty is there, but definitely one certainty is that the real estate property in long run will never stop. It'll never stop the price growth because there is no limit, because cost of living is going to continue increase for the last 100 years, 200 years. This is the one happening. Sometimes suddenly big fluctuation comes, that has to stop. But other than that, the growth is going to be linear upwards. No doubt, nobody has any doubt. So when that material cost, everything is going to be high, a new property can never come lower than that price. So sometime, of course, people don't buy just because the demand. Other than that, it's going to set right. That's why I told during the recession, even multifamily will not be simply get affected by a recession or whatever. Even now, multifamily properties valuation is based on what? Anybody can answer? How do you value a multifamily property market value?
When you make some improvements and
Yeah.
you buy in the one class, but you make the improvement and you can to increase the rent.
Yeah.
It's correct.
Very good. Go ahead. Very good answer. So you can increase the rent. So that is the second part. That means how to improve your market value of a multifamily property. That is that. Second thing, multifamily property valuation is not simply based on the next property that was sold 2 months back. It can be the same size property. This is also fourplex. That is also a fourplex. That is also 5-year-old. This is also 5-year-old. Both of them are very close or next to each other. Even then, one property can be sold for different price than the other one, even though the conditions, everything is same. Why? Because their rental collection may be different. Based on that, their net operating income may be different. So based on the net operating income only, we are evaluating or giving a value for a property in multifamily, commercial property. So if the rental amount is different, or if the expenses are different, if the net operating income is different, even now, even in this market, the property value may be totally different. Do you understand? It is not just by a demand from without anything else, just a comparison of last year price or what. It never happens like that. I can give you one example. Even right now, one property I bought, that I bought it for about $598,000. That is a sixplex and 2 commercial units. And of course, there's some other rental opportunity too. When I bought it, $598 is the purchase price. When I did the appraisal, that is $1,125,000. In 3 months' time, with my closing with Royal Bank, at that time I did the appraisal. I got about 1.125. So it is 100% almost price up. The reason is, of course, the way I bought the property. So that's an amazing other thing. That is a finding great properties. The last month training. So this month we are talking about underwriting. Before that, I tell that. So after 1 year's time, this January, I did the appraisal because I increased the rent and everything else. And I did the appraisal. It came for 1.507. So from the date I bought the property, that is 2021 February, to now, it is exactly 2 years. In 2 years' time, my price appreciation is about $900,000. What did I do? I did some renovation and I put some new rentals and everything. And of course, still I have some more opportunity to increase the rent. If I do that, that value will go even more. Sometimes you will not get a buyer to buy a property because even now, even though it's a multifamily, sometimes some buyers are investor buyers also behaving like a ordinary buyer, behaving and affected by emotions. So for that reason, sometimes I may get a buyer a little late. But if I try to put it in the market, most likely it will be sold. So you can see during the recession time, my price of the property has gone up. Can you show one single property, a single detached property that happened in your past? Any real estate investors or real estate agents, whoever who is there, can you tell me one example? So that is the reason we try to go into multifamily. Okay, guys?
Yes.
So we can go to the next level. So this is the success path I always tell, because when you start something, whether it is a business or real estate or whatever, if you don't fully understand, you will not go to the next step. You will really be overwhelmed and you will spend a lot of time or a lot of money till you will not get the success. And if you really spend little time or little money with some other experts or coaches or whatever, you can reduce the growth time by a lot of time, a big portion. At that time, if you really spend more, then you can go to the next success level within a shorter period of time. You can find a person who can teach you how to do something, then you try to learn everything by yourself. Because when you try to learn everything by yourself, it is taking minimum 10 years. Because the person who talked to me, he's a very, very knowledgeable person doing very good business. And he told, I am getting up by 5 o'clock, go to bed by 10 o'clock. So I am a very hardworking person. I'm so proud about it. 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. he is working. Even then, he is very much scared about $40,000 government loan. I don't disrespect him. I don't disrespect his fear or whatever. He's a genuine smart person. I like him because I like hardworking people. But the problem, he is doing only one business, a restaurant related business. Even then, he has this much of issue and he is still working 15 hours in that business, means something is wrong somewhere. Even though he is hardworking, even though he is healthy and smart, something is wrong somewhere. Of course, the recession, his timing is bad, but even then, he is spending his time in a wrong place in his business. That is why he is doing. Definitely, I can tell he is doing even $10 worth of job or work in his full day. If he can eliminate that type of lowest level value work, he can put himself in a totally different place. Does any of you think making additional $40,000 from a restaurant business or restaurant related business if they have about 5 to 7 years of experience? He can find ways. 100% he can find ways. He's not doing multiple business. Other than that, other one is only real estate investment. He's not doing a lot in that. So definitely he can do it. He can definitely improve the business. Even restaurant business also got a total different change. The ghost kitchen has come and rental kitchen is coming. And so many other ways are there. So he can definitely make the profits additional $40,000 if they think properly. For that, he may have to find the right mentor or coach in the restaurant industry. Many people are doing that. Or otherwise, he has to think or spend more time in marketing. Or he has to evaluate his process, business process. So that's why I put this example, because when I did my videos, yes?
Please, the first diagram that you just took off, right?
Yeah.
I saw it, but I don't understand what you mean by. Can you just just explain the diagram? Okay.
This is James, or who is this?
This is Felix, Pastor
Felix. Okay, yes, Felix. I think Felix is another pastor in our team, and he joined for the first time mastermind here. He's from Toronto area. He's a real estate investor, and at the same time, he's having another business too. So
Yeah.
yes, Felix, this is a common picture we are talking about, how we
Okay.
have to leverage our success with other people's knowledge. If we
Okay.
try to learn everything by ourselves, it's going to take a lot of time. And sometimes we'll be spending a lot of money too. Even then, we will not get the success. So we
Yeah.
should not find how to do something. We should find who can do this for me, or who can help me to do this. So that is a whole concept of this one. And so many books are written on how, who, not how. So for that person, if there are about 1,000 people want to go into multifamily, for example, out of the 1,000 people, about 700, 800 people try to do it by themselves.
Mhm.
And they will be starting property, or they will be looking for properties, or try to do many times, but at the same time, they will not buy the first one. Or otherwise, they would have bought a first one, but they may have ended with the wrong property, or they may have lost that, or they may have given up because they try to do something that they don't know.
Yes.
So that is the reason people get overwhelming, or otherwise they feel anxiety or whatever. But if somebody really spends some time with some other coaches or some other people who already did that, they can move to the next level. For that, they may have to spend a little more time or a little more money. But even then, they will not be really successful, because understanding something is easy or the next level, but executing that is the next level. Understanding is okay, possible, but executing properly is not that easy. So if they don't really do that properly, again, they will be sad and they will worry how to go to the next level. Even I was in that state, because even though I'm an accountant by profession and I did a lot of training myself, even then, sometimes back when I thought, yeah, I did not really achieve what I really wanted to achieve at that time. I felt very sad about it, because I know that I have enough knowledge and everything, because we don't know what we don't know. For that reason, we really keep spending money and things like that, so that we try to catch the more people who really achieve the same thing that I wanted to achieve. And probably this month or next month, March, I will be joining the Grant Cardone's event in Toronto, because I want to learn even more from him.
Mhm.
So because he has $5 billion worth of net worth. So definitely we can learn more. So like that. But for that time, I have to be closer to him. For that, I may have to spend some time and money. But if I am ready, of course, I can cut the time by half or even 1/3. So that's what I'm telling. This is the success path, who, not how. Because most of the time, business owners are not always educated. They may have ordinary education, but they don't care about that. They are able to make use of other people in the right manner, and they go to the next level. All the educated people are mostly, we are working for some other ordinary educated successful business person. So the reason is they know how to leverage the who, not the how. Okay, guys. So when we don't know what we do exactly, we really spend a lot of time. Even then, we lose money. That's what, for one of my mistakes, I lost about $115,000 in one not multifamily, commercial property, a strip plaza, about 7 years back when I bought it, because other partners did not bring the money at that time to the closing. So I couldn't close the deal and I lost my down payment. So because of that, the reason is, at that time, I did not really leverage or make use of the raising capital strategy properly. So I would like to remind you guys, because our 3-day boot camp will be March 16, 17, 18. And please put the note, it's going to be a full day event, like 9:30 to 4:30, March 16, 17, 18. And of course, after that, every week we'll be having our mentoring session on Wednesday, 7 p.m. It can go up to 7 to 9 or 7 to 8:30 or whatever, based on the number of deals or problems or questions you are bringing. But my ultimate purpose of that is, everybody here in this group, as my paid members, should be able to buy your first or next property within 6 months' time. If there is any other reason you want to postpone the purchase, I'm perfectly okay. But other than that, I want everybody to buy your property, but I'll be talking about that very soon. So please note those dates, March 16th, 17th, 18th. Okay, so this is the full course structure, 1-year course structure of this mastermind. First month, we have to learn about finding good properties. And we did that. And if anybody has any question, you can book one-on-one booking calls or anything, so that you can clarify your doubts and questions. already 2 or 3 students are always calling me and sending emails, booking the appointments, and they are really progressing well. Second month is underwriting. That's what we are doing now. And the third one is raising capital, because most of the students join me just because I bought 10 properties in one single year with $59. That means it was easy for them to start connecting themselves with zero down strategies. That is the reason they are coming to my courses most of the time. But I tell, buying a multifamily property is your goal or destination. Using OPM or other people money or zero down strategy is only a strategy. Just because one strategy is not working, or just because one strategy you couldn't understand properly, you should not give up your destination or goal. So your goal is to find a property or buy a property this year or within whatever the time frame. So if the zero down strategy is not working, still you have to find another way of doing that. So if you are 100% committed, I'm 100% committed to make that happen to you. So think about that. That's why I put the third topic as raising capital. So under that means the down payment part. You have to at least find the down payment from anywhere so that you can move on to buy your property. The fourth month is submitting offers and negotiating. And the fifth month is inspection and due diligence, because most of the time people don't really give enough value for inspection and due diligence. That's why they end up with some wrong properties. And the sixth one is, of course, financing and mortgage arrangement. And the other one is closing and operating that as a business. Because after you buy a property, after you own your property, then only the real challenges and learning comes. How to increase the value of the property. Because the reason why we are buying a property is to make capital gains. So if that is a purpose of buying a property, right after you own a property, then only your work starts. You have to find many ways of increasing that value. That's operating as a business. One is a day-to-day operation. Second one is leveraging. So that's why we put that as eighth one, as increasing the value and exiting. Increase the market value, how you can do that. And the exiting, of course, exiting can be 2 phases. One is sale and the other one is refinance. Who likes sale and who likes refinance? Can anybody share your opinion about that? You're planning to buy a property. After 2 years to 5 years time, you have to exit. If I tell, what exit strategy you will take? It sale or refi? Anybody? What's your opinion, K? Sadiq.
Hi, so I had my hand up for a question before, but just to your question, I would prefer the refinance because of the tax savings.
Very good.
And you still get to keep your property while it's appreciating, and the equity is building. And so yeah, for those reasons, I'll prefer refinance.
Very good. Anybody else? Any other reasons? Any other answers? Who likes to sell?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yes, if you buy a property with this coaching within 6 months' time, a multifamily property, what would you do in 3 to 5 years' time? Will you sell that or will you refinance that?
Could I answer this question?
Yeah.
So I'm a numbers guy. I'm an accountant.
Yes.
I think traditionally my answer would have been to buy and hold and to refinance, because then you don't pay the tax on it, and it just makes it easier to kind of build your empire.
True.
But there is a flip side to this, and after holding properties for a long time, I realized that if you build a lot of equity in a single property and the property is only appreciating at, call it 4% per year, then it does make sense sometimes to sell it, to pull that money out and to plow it back into new properties that will appreciate at 20% per year based on your capital. You buy more properties with that money. So it depends what your goal is. If you want to sit pretty and let it appreciate over time, by all means do the refinance, or you could also pull that money out and buy new properties. That's the other way to do it.
Well said. Well said, Ken. Ken is an accountant. Are you a financial controller or what is your position, Ken?
I'm a CFO at a $30 billion asset management company.
Yes. So he is a CFO and he is running a company with $30 billion, right?
That's correct.
Correct. So you guys think about it. So even he is also willing to refi, not to sell. Many people sell properties in panic because they don't understand what's going to happen and they're totally distracted and they try to sell the property. But he gave a good point. If you keep a lot of equity in a property, sometimes selling makes sense. Otherwise, he said, we have to refinance. If you can refinance and take the money out, then you can keep it. Only 20% down in a property, keeping that is not a bad idea. So best strategy is that. And at the same time, we have another term. I will be introducing that or talk about that more in next session. That is called infinite cash flow. I always talk and like infinite cash flow. That means zero down strategies. Sometimes when you buy a property, you cannot do a zero down strategy. You may have to put your money or somebody else's money, things like that. But after 1 year or 3 years time, if the property appreciates by your effort and due to the market, if you can do a refinance and if you can take all the money, whatever you put and your investor partners or whoever put, then there is no equity inside of your money, right? Or not even the investors' money. So you'll be pay off everything to the investors and loan capital. And if you put some money, that also you can take it out. After that, there is no zero equity in that property. After 3 years or 5 years time, depending on the situation, then that property can let it go by itself. No money inside, but the property belongs to you and your investor partners. Based on the percentage of ownership or whatever shares you agreed already, you will be just continuing. So how many properties can you buy like that? If you keep buying and do this and do the refinance when the good time comes, take the money out, pay everybody. Otherwise, keep the money, give the money back to the investors. Again, tell, hey guys, once I find another good property, I will let you know. If you are interested, you can reinvest with me. So how many people will come back to you and invest the money again with you? Almost everybody, because you already gave a great return to your investors. Second, you gave the full money back to them. Even after they got the money back in their hand, still they have the percentage of ownership in that property. That can go up to lifetime, or they can even move that to their kids or whoever. So that is what we call as infinite cash flow. So that is the reason many people are coming to multifamily and commercial type of real estate, including Grant Cardone. One time Grant Cardone said that too, right? Because I don't want to just simply sell a property and I want to pay back my investors within few years. Then I will ask them to bring back the money to another property. So they will keep on building. So that's the beauty of real estate. Okay, guys, so that's all about it. So here the 8th one is increase the value and exit. Exit can be preferably a refinance or sale. It depends on the situation. One time a small property, I bought it a single family, single detached with a partner. It was growing well and it is in front of a gas station. So I know that we can convert that zoning and everything. But my partner said we wanted to sell that. I didn't really like it, but even then I thought I don't want to make any misunderstanding with the partner because that is just one property. We can buy 10 property with him and other people. And I didn't want to buy back that property. Also, I thought, you know, in the valuation, we may have some small misunderstanding. I may say for $500,000, he may say $600,000. Again, I had to cut the agent commission, something like. So if there is any misunderstanding, the long run business partnership will be affected. So I decided to sell that and split the profit between each other. But even now I know if I have kept that property, I would have made even more money. So that's why we always think refi is the best strategy. But for that, you should be able to manage your property very well. Whether there is enough equity or zero equity inside and it is a infinite cash flow property, doesn't matter. Still, you have to manage that property very well. That's what I say, self-managing company. So you have to think how you can do that. So in that increasing the value, you have to talk about that. And of course, this 1 and 2, pitching the deals and joint venture and all, that is part of financing and fundraising. Okay, that I will be talking with this number 3. So there's a wrong place to be. Okay, so that's the whole structure of 1 year program. But at the same time, the first month we did everything here. There is introduction of everybody and $1 million plan and mindset and planning their power team and how to get their agents and brokers and talk to them and how to talk to the listing broker. partner with the sellers and brokers, and quick underwriting and reverse calculation of your work. These all we did last month. So we are going to take only 1 or 2 things just to brush up, and we'll be going to the next topic too. So is there anybody that you want to tell what do you want to do or achieve in 1 year and 3 years? It can be anything. It can be wrong. It can be big or it can be small. It can be achievable or not. Doesn't matter. If you have anybody, please disclose that either to me here or at least to your business partner or somebody. If that is a worst case scenario, at least your life partner, because that is very important. Anybody, is there anyone to share your 1 year goal so that I can take that accountability? Yes, I will help you. We will achieve it. Anybody there? Marlon,
Yeah,
what is
this
your
is,
plan? Yes.
this is,
Who is that?
this is Pastor James.
Yes.
I am a retired minister, and I already have 2 properties besides
Yes.
the one that I'm living in, so 3 now. My vision or goal is to be able to buy at least 2, not 3.
Okay.
More multifamily properties this year. First of all, to be able to live well, retirement, and also have enough financial independence to take care of some philanthropic and charitable causes, as well as taking care of family.
Okay, very good. So you are really going towards 2 multifamily properties this year. And do you have any 3-year plan?
I hope to increase it to at least 10 or 15.
No, even you can take 10, doesn't matter, or even 15 doesn't matter, but try to be specific. And after that, it would be easier.
Yeah.
So pick a number and try to stick to that. Of course, if you're doing more than that, of course, everybody welcome that. But if there is no number, that is really somewhere we are stuck. Okay. And the other thing, of course, you can think about your vision. Vision may be a business point of view vision most of the time. So you can decide what you really want to achieve through these ones. Because as I tell, your destination is just one, but at the same time, you may have a different vision. By reaching that destination, you want to do something else. If you want to go to Vancouver, that is one destination. What are you going to do in Vancouver is the real vision or purpose of that. So you must have that too, because sometimes after earning everything, they don't really benefit out of the property or whatever. They still keep it and still they starve and die. So there should be a real reason or vision behind your efforts. Otherwise, it's not worth it. It can be your career and business and personal goals also. You have to have it so that you can really plan your day and everything. And you must decide what is your why for multifamily real estate. So keep that one. If anybody else want to share your plans.
Yes, Felix.
Felix, yes.
Yeah, what I want to do is I want to be able to, in the next 1 year, have at least 2 or 3 properties, the family unit properties. Then on the 3rd month, the 3rd year, going to the 3rd year is to be able to free my time, you know, that I don't need to compulsorily do anything. I will know that there will be a money flow. Then also focus on raising other younger ones as investors in real estate.
That's amazing. That's really amazing because he has a clear understanding because he is coming from a business background and he is a pastor too. So he can understand that 1 year, this year he want to buy 1 or what, and he already has 1 or 2 properties. But at the same time, 3rd year, he wants to free up his time because based on our age and our vision and expectation, we have to plan exactly. It doesn't mean that we have to keep on buying properties up to 90s. If we wish like Warren Buffett or whatever, yes, I love to do that too. But we have to come up with your own vision. Then it is easy. That's amazing, Felix. You have a clarity about your purpose and your life. Okay, guys, anybody else? Okay, I'll continue. And if you really want to disclose, anytime you can interrupt because this is the purpose. You know, if you decide that and if you tell for many people, automatically you will do it. Next time, please try to come with your cameras if possible so that people can see each other because in this group, it's about minimum 10 people here. So here itself, you will be able to find out another partner for you for your next property. Sometimes one person can bring a property, other person can bring an investor. So like that, here you can do that. But if you come without the camera, it'll never happen. So try to make it, because where else you are going to go and look for partners? This is the best starting point, because here everybody understands the risk and reward of real estate and multifamily. So here you don't need to teach about a property or an opportunity or whatever. They can simply grasp your point if you bring a good property, right? So try to be with the camera. That's always give you enough return. Whatever money you pay to the training, that can simply come from that itself. So think about it. Anybody else want to share anything? Okay, you can tell that anytime. So here the second step is our $1 million plan. We decided, yes, if you are going into multifamily real estate, you have to have a number in your mind. It can be $1 million or even $100,000. You can take it anyway, but I put that as $1 million plan, so it is easy to calculate. But at the same time, you can decide $1 million what? Cash flow or capital appreciation? Most of the time, capital appreciation. Cash flow is a bonus, I tell you. So you have to target $1 million or $100,000 capital appreciation in 3 to 5 years time. Most of the time, any investors comes to me to invest with me, I simply say, I will try everything to double your investment in 3 to 5 years time. That is the promise I try to give it to them. 3 to 5 years time, I should be able to double up their investment. For example, if they bring $100,000, I should be able to double that to $200,000 in 3 to 5 years time. If that happens within 1 year or 6 months, that is an ultra bonus. But I don't simply promise that. But in my investments, always that happens, because I try to reduce the investor capital and try to get the return through loan capital. That's a strategy I use. So my return is always much higher than 20 or 50 or 40%. Okay, guys, so that is a calculation you have to have it. Then you can really go in the right direction. So how will you calculate your capital gains? Your future selling price minus your purchase price. So that is how you calculate that. And of course, you can simply decide how you are going to do that. This is a math we did it last time, but again, I am doing that because you have to have the clarity. After you get the clarity in calculation and underwriting a property, you can simply do everything by yourself, and you call me or you call your team members, and you can move really fast. So for example, if you think you will be getting that, you want to get in the $1 million profit in 3 years time, you have to see how you can do that. Normally, capital gain is coming from price appreciation. Price appreciation is coming from the increase in the net operating income. How much increase you have to make in net operating income to make $1 million? That is the biggest calculation. So if anybody don't understand, let me know, or you can even talk to others also. So if you simply think, if you make about $60,000 additional net operating income in a property, and if you assume that cap rate of that area is 5%, what is the market appreciation you got it? Net operating income, increased net operating income divided by the market cap. So we assume $60,000 price increase or net operating income increase, divide that by 5%. Can anybody give me the answer? How much is it coming?
That's 1.2 million.
1.2 million, amazing. So $60,000 net operating income is giving you a capital gains $1.2 million. Do you think it is possible in single family? No. Single family will just increase based on the market, but at the same time, you cannot really say that. Give me 1 second. Hello?
Leo, could you show again the formula for the capital gain, please?
Hello? What did you say?
Could you show up again the formula for the capital gain?
Okay, I'm going to give you the formula. Can you give me 2 minutes? I get back to you soon. Okay. Sorry, guys. Suddenly, my wife called me. She got stuck in the snow in the driveway. Okay, you hear me now, right? Mala, are you there?
I hear you, yes.
Okay, so you want this $1 million calculation. So we wanted to make about $1 million capital gains in 3 years' time. So for you to make about $1 million, you may have to increase the net operating income by about $50,000. But now I put an example, you have an increased net operating income of $60,000 in 1 year. If that is the case, how much is the capital appreciation? So $60,000 divide by 5%, because we assume the cap rate in that market is 5%. So divide that 60,000 by 5%, and you are getting $1.2 million price appreciation, capital gains. How can you enjoy the capital gains? You can do a refinance or you can sell it. Either way, the most preferred one is refinancing. And refinancing, even now it is possible. If you do the increased capital gains and after that, if you do an appraisal, bank will say yes. Only for you to find the right buyer, you may take some time because the market, it is little slow. But other than that, the bank, if you give the right appraisal value, they will take it. So you can take the money into your hand. So for you to make $60,000 month annual net operating income means if you divide that by 12, that is only $5,000 per month increase. In a proper property, multifamily, $5,000 if you have to make every month additional, how much is per month, per year? You can decide that. In 5 years' time, you want to make in 3 years' time, you want to make $5,000 monthly additional income. So if you divide that by 3, in each year, $1,667 should come from a property. And if you assume the property is having 18 units, you are going to divide that 1,667 by 18. So that is how much? Around $92.61 rent increase per month from one unit. If you can do that $92 this month, and next year again $92, and another $92 in the third year, that means about $1,600. You will be able to increase that. And 3 years' time, each property, you will be getting about $5,000 from that, and $60,000 will be your total net operating income additional. So the property value will be about $1.2 million more. So this is what we call our $1 million plan. Do you think now it is possible? Because when I told that initially, if I tell $1 million, you may have laughed, okay, this guy is just talking or just try to impress ourselves. So do you think this $5,000 per month is fairly possible now in a multifamily property? You have to find a way of doing that. We will do that very soon. How?
But
Okay, guys, I want to take a break in between, but sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that the presumption is that you're dealing with 18 unit, multifamily property.
Correct. Here, because we are putting a $1.2 million profit, but at the same time 18 units. But it don't have to be all the time 18 units, because for the calculation purpose, for everybody to have a good impression, I put that. But at the same time, there are so many ways. I can put another example. One of the other properties I bought it for $1.3 million. Now the property value is $2.6 million. There what I did is that had a full basement. It was done, but not perfectly, but it was utilized by the upstairs tenant. It's a beauty parlor in Ottawa. So they were having that upstairs as well as the basement. So the renewal time came last October, August. So well in advance, based on the lease agreement, I told the land tenant saying, next year on the renewal, I'm not going to give you the basement. I'm taking back the basement. Only the front upper part is for you for $3,500. Right now, they were paying $3,000 for the upstairs as well as the whole basement. They use the basement as a storage. So they put all the junk over there. So I told $3,500 only for the upper portion. If you really want the basement as well, $5,500. So only 1 month they were negotiating and talking to me and everything. But after that, I told, I'm not rushing you. Just go and check the market and come back and talk to me. So they took a realtor and go everywhere and found out the properties. And then they understood, yes, $3,500 is a fairly normal price in the current market, even for the upstairs alone. Then they decided to go only with that. And again, they bargained. And at the same time, I just agreed for $3,200 only for the upstairs. Then I took the basement. I did some renovation, spent about $50,000 or $40,000. Now that can generate at least about $5,000. It can be taken by one person for a whole unit, or otherwise we can divide it. Everything is ready to divide or keep capacities. Last week also, some people came and tried to see that for one business. So I don't need to separate that. So $5,000 come. So that is only 4 unit, 4 commercial and 1 residential unit. I'm making $1.3 million or something more. So it don't have to be all the time 18 units, but if you're focusing purely multifamily, you can just go like that. And sometimes your goal is not to make $1.2 million in 3 years' time or 2 years' time. You may think about 500,000 or 400,000 for the first 2 properties. After that, gradually you will go more. So this is the logic and this is the learning. After that, you can take your steps any way you like. So if you guys need a break, we can take it. Otherwise, we can continue. Shall we continue or you want anything break? Okay,
No,
we'll
we can take
continue.
We can
Sorry?
take the break.
You
We
take a
can take the
break?
break.
Okay, guys, so now it is 10:33. Can we take a quick break for about 5 to 10 minutes? So
Okay.
10:45, shall we join back?
Okay.
10:45. Okay, guys, I'm going to be here. If you have any questions, talk to me.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. My camera off, still I'm here.
So Leo,
Leo.
sorry, go
Yep.
ahead.
Okay, you can go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Leo, later, if you could just tell us, if we can go a little more into the how realistic is it to raise rents by $92 per unit? It really depends on the kind of units that you buy. Sometimes the residents are a little bit sticky in terms of being able to rent it for a higher amount. I mean, for us, we're paying larger amounts of rent for them because they're lower income. $92 is a larger portion of their income, right?
Yes.
So we can get to that.
If there is any good potential for us to increase the property value in years time to this month. If that opportunity is not there too, again, we will not buy the property because something cash will be there. But increasing the rent or increasing the market value will not be possible in 3 years time. Again, we will see no for that property.
So
we
I
have
don't
to
know.
definitely find out a way.
I don't know if it's me. I can barely hear you, Leo. Are you on
Can
the
hear
phone?
you too, Ken.
Maybe,
can't hear.
sorry, it's wrong. Do you hear me now?
I can hear you
Yes.
now. Yeah, but I couldn't hear you
Very
before
good,
that.
sorry. Yeah, definitely we'll go through that because how to increase the rent and how we can convince the people, everything we had to go through because that is the part 2 of underwriting, right? Because now we look at the current rental and current cash flow and everything based on the pro forma the seller is providing or the broker is providing. But again, our question, how are we going to increase? How much can we increase? If that potential is not there, or if you are not convinced with that strategy, we should not buy that property too. So we'll definitely go through that. Got it?
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Leo,
Yes.
here in Canada, the capital gain, when you make the capital gain for the accounting, it's true that is the 50% that is subject to the pay tax, and only the 12% that you have to pay. Is correct that?
Yeah, it's correct in Canada and even USA also, they didn't increase that rate yet, but they are also planning to increase that. Or otherwise, there are so many strategies and papers they are discussing about. In Canada, yes, 50% of the gain is the capital gain. For that 50% only, you will be taxed. But at the same time, that is straight away applicable in investment, also your single family property. But if you keep on buying properties and if you keep on renovating and keep on increasing the capital gains or the property value within a shorter period of time, for example, 3 properties in 1 year like that, if you continue, then that is not really capital gains. That is your operational gain, the business gain, because you took that as a business. So at that time, your accountant and the government Revenue Canada will say, no, you are not liable to pay capital gain. You have to pay profit tax based on the 100% profit. They may tell that too. So that is why you have to decide your business in the proper manner, you may have to talk to your accountant too and see that. And of course, the accountant also will think and see how you are doing your business. If you keep on buying 5 properties in 1 year and do everything renovated and sell it, that is not a capital gain. Capital gain is what? It's a fairly passive type of income you will generate. But here you are operation, you are doing this as a business. So that is the real business income. If they categorize that way, you will not pay the same calculation. Correct?
Okay. So that means it's only the 12% is taxable. That's correct? The only 12%.
What is 12%?
The 12% of the 50%. So is
Yeah, you are
is
correct.
the again it's 100%, is $100, only 50% is that the 50%, only 12% is taxable of the 50. Is correct?
Very good. Very good.
Oh.
50% is correct answer. The 12% is wrong answer because if your personal tax bracket is 12%, or if your business tax bracket is 12%, you will be charged at that, and 12% means only a little amount. But now even the small business tax bracket is also not 12, I think 16 or something. But at the same time, your personal tax bracket is also not in 12, I think it is fairly little more than that. So whatever your tax bracket, 12 or 15 or 20 will be the rate for you.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, there'll be another problem, if you are putting that as a company, then there'll be a double tax thing also, as a business, you are going to get that profit as capital gain. But again, if you take that profit to you as a personal income, again, you have to pay a tax for that personal tax as well. So that's why many businesses don't take their profit back to their home unless they really need. They will take a dividend, they will take a small salary type of thing. But other than that, they'll try to keep that profit in the company itself. One. Second, they will try to invest that profit on another property or another business or something like that. So you will not take it back to home. Correct?
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one we call as double tax.
Hello, what do you mean by you will not take it home?
Sorry?
What do you mean by you will not take that capital gain home?
Can you speak a little louder? I don't hear you properly.
Oh, you can't hear me? I said, what do you mean by you will not take home that capital gain?
Where do you invest, right?
You hear me now or still not hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Mm.
So your question is, where do you invest, right?
Yes.
Okay. First, whether you invest or not is also not a problem.
Mhm.
If the company makes some profit, for example, you have one business, one incorporation, you have 3
Yes.
properties.
Yes.
Out of that one property, you renovated and sold it, and you made a $1 million profit.
Okay.
So the government is assuming, and your accountant is saying, no, it is only a capital gain, not a business profit. So accountant calculate the tax and pay the tax, maybe 100,000. So 900,000 capital gains is still with you. You keep it in your
Yes.
bank account, in your business bank account, so
Yes.
that you can get some profit. That means interest. That is an income for you. But again, for that interest, you may have to pay tax to the government.
Yes.
You don't take it anywhere else. You don't invest anywhere else. You don't even take it home. So no problem. Your company has about $900,000 cash
Yes.
reserve. That's amazing. But only problem, due to the inflation, even though you keep it 900,000 in the bank, next year it is the purchase power of that 900,000 is only 600,000. It's
Exactly.
not a good idea. So
Yes.
you have to invest somewhere. Then only you can at least protect your cash. For that purpose, you can either invest as a passive investor from index funds or whatever. That is one
Okay.
way.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you will think of buying another property.
Exactly. Yeah.
Otherwise, you will invest on some other business.
Yes.
So for that business, you will be the shareholder, or you will be the owner of that business.
Yes.
Yeah, so many ways, but this is a really an accountant's question, but this is the
Yes.
basic understanding.
I get it.
Leo, I have a quick question. I have a duplex in Ottawa where I did some like forced appreciation with some renovation and rent increase and everything. So
Right.
now when I ask for a property value to my realtor, he comes with a cap rate, like he comes with only $700,000 of valuation with a cap rate of 9%. But the market
9% cap.
yeah, but the market cap rate in Ottawa is 5%. And if I go around 5% cap rate, then my valuation is way larger. So now when I even talk to a bank like BMO, I was just talking a few days ago, they're like, oh, it's a duplex, it's residential. We don't calculate the valuation like that. What did your realtor say? And then I'm like, okay, he said 700. So like how does that even work? Like I'm stuck with like a couple of $100,000 lower valuation with such a high cap rate in that case. Like, is that the normal?
It is definitely normal. Even the same question and same approach was brought by another student also 3 days back, because
Yeah.
Duplex, fourplex, and triplex is not really commercial property, even though it is multi-residential, right?
Yeah.
So that is fairly affected by the normal population's demand and supply. So can you find another duplex like yours in the price what you are expecting based on 5% cap, based on the net operating income?
In the $700,000 range, I can find duplex, but their rent will not even be close as mine, or they will not be like 3-bedroom renovated. They will be like 2-bedroom at max, 2-bedroom and
that's
1-bedroom.
correct. But even then, the realtor brought a 7% or 9% cap is a wrong thing. But
Yeah.
other than that, his concept and approach is correct. But is that a buying realtor or your own realtor?
No, my own realtor, because I was just trying to get a valuation concept for a refinance. That's why.
Very good, very good. So you see, he is your realtor. If he wanted to attract you and put it in the market, he could have agreed you a 5% calculation and put it a higher value market, higher value property in the market. It wouldn't have been sold, one. Second, people
Yeah.
may have laughed at the realtor also, because as
Yeah.
I told, duplex, triplex, fourplex will have the market comparison. That's the first approach the banks and investors and buyers, everybody take. So it's not categorized as a commercial. If it is more than 505, is the one really we try to apply the cap rate concept and whatever we are directly learning here.
Okay, so the cap rate and all those things that apply to at least like 5 unit and more.
Yeah,
Something
most of the time, yes.
Okay. Okay. So even if I
even-
like, oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, but we try to teach that even for the duplex, we try to teach the same concept so that they can
Okay.
apply to a fiveplex very soon. But in the
Yeah.
real market, yes, if you do that, you will lose the opportunities.
Yeah, so even if I like add another unit to it and make it a triplex and like get even like super high rent, like my valuation won't go up that much in that case, because if I'm just getting compared to another triplex and like all those things in that case.
Yeah, because who is your target buyer again? Again, a normal ordinary person, accountant, engineer, whoever, who wants to live there in one unit and rent out the balance 3, or otherwise a starting investor who is looking for a triplex or fourplex, he may buy, but he will compare the property to property closer to that area. So that is a mindset, and that's the approach the bank and everybody does up to fourplex.
Okay. And
But
and
only
another,
thing,
yeah,
you'll be
yes, sorry.
sold faster if you can increase the rent opportunity. And if you put it a good price, you will get a better chance to sell that quickly and get the money out.
Yeah, that's true. But then at the same time, like I keep on like looking at the market, nothing similar like that even get listed. So if I sell it, then I will never be able to buy something like that.
That is why I always say buy and hold is the first right strategy for real estate investors.
Yeah,
Only-
yeah. And another thing, Leo, the cap rate, shouldn't that be always be higher than the prime rate?
Definitely, that is the real truth of it. But at the same time, the market cap rate doesn't really simply get changed time to time because the interest rate. So I try to use 2 cap rates. What is the market cap now? What is the cap rate on the property as of now based on the net operating income and the market cap or whatever? That is one concept. And
Yeah.
year one calculation, I will put one more cap. That is after I do the changes and rental income changes or whatever, what is going to be the cap. And exit cap, I assume in 3 to 5 years time, I have to sell it or refinance it. At that time, based on this market, I put a higher cap for that. My exit cap is much higher than the current cap rate what I am buying. And at the same time, fairly higher than the market interest rate.
Yeah.
So,
But- yeah.
because the purpose of buying a property is to make capital gains, especially in Canada. And
Yeah.
if we are losing that, it's not good.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
My exit cap is higher than the interest rate, current interest rate.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense because that's what I was thinking. If the prime rate is 6.75, then how does it make sense to buy a property with 5% cap rate in this market?
That's the thing. But we cannot change the market, right? Only we have to change ourselves. And of
Yeah.
course, we have to approach in the correct manner,
Yeah.
we're keeping our exit strategy in mind.
Yeah. So it has to have like opportunities at 5%. Like it cannot be just like no.
Yeah,
opportunity.
because normally if the cap rate, if the buying cap is high and selling cap is low, then only you will make ample profit.
Okay.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you really eye on that and buy a property and at the end in 3 years time, you couldn't sell it at that cap rate,
Yeah.
you are going to be having a wrong property. So
Yep.
that's why we try to keep the exit cap high, especially in this market.
Hmm.
Then of course, less investors will be attracted towards that property. I don't mind.
Hmm.
But we have a prudent concept so that we are securing our property and the existing investors.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what we do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Leo,
Yes.
the capital gain, the formula is sell price less purchase price, correct?
Yes.
So, but the question is, the sell price then in this moment doesn't imply the cost of selling. So that's mean
Of
because
course, you have to increase the cost of selling and capital improvement cost, everything. We call that as capital expenditure and revenue expenditure. We don't generally include the revenue expenditures, but here in this calculation, if you go real deeper, yes, you have to add both of them. Closing cost
so
and
that
capital
doesn't
expenditure.
mean is the difference between the purchase price and selling price, the capital gain. So
Yeah, that is a common idea, but plus you have to add all of the expenditures as well.
okay, so
Yeah.
sell price, less purchase price, and less
Closing
renovation,
cost,
the money
closing
invested.
cost and capital improvement cost, and any other related costs.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys, I think we can go ahead further. And if you have any question, please stop me halfway. So this is a multifamily, and of course, we did the introduction, and of course, the purpose of multifamily is the next thing we are going to discuss. And what to ask for underwriting is the next thing we are planning. And the other one is type of underwriting. We already learned one quick underwriting. The other one is a detailed underwriting, and we'll go for that. And then in between the break will be there about 2 or 1 o'clock. And then we will go for deep underwriting. And again, after one more break in 3 o'clock, we will go another question. So when we go to the questions, you will understand more of it. So this is the first one. What do you mean by underwriting or the definition? It's not really definition. I put it out. Anybody can get the definition from any dictionary. So underwriting is a process of analyzing the financials of a property to determine the right purchase price by calculating the current profitability, cash flow, and net operating income, and to identify the future potential to increase the market value. Because that's what I mentioned by exit strategy. Because if you don't have any exit strategy in 3 to 5 years time, or if you don't think how much would be the market value in future in 3 to 5 years time or what, so you will be missing a big part of the puzzle. So that's why I assume you have to identify the current suitable purchase price of the property based on the profitability, cash flow, and net operating income. And of course, based on that only you're going to give a price, because somebody is asking $1.3 million price for a property. Doesn't mean that you are going to give that or just deduct $10 or $200 and give the offer, right? You are going to do the calculation based on those, and you will come up, no, this property will worth only this much. Based on that, you give the offer, they can accept or whatever, doesn't matter. And of course, you have to think about the future increased market value. That's the purpose of the whole real estate. So you have to always think about the strategy, exit strategy. Don't ever buy any single property without any strategy, exit strategy. Next point is that I call there is a 4 quadrants of commercial real estate investment, or you can mean that as 4 quadrants of underwriting. Either way, you can think about it. First one is the price, that means the purchase price. Second one is the equity. Equity means the down payment, how much down payment you are going to put or you have to put. Third one is the net operating income and the cash flow, the flow that has to come there, cash flow. So cash flow, net operating income, and price, and equity, the down payment requirement. These are the 4 things you analyze when you buy a property. Write down this, because most of the time we try to look at 1 or 2 and forget the rest. Don't ever do that. These 4 has to be considered. Sometimes you will give up something or you will give some discount on one perspective, but at the same time, at least you should know, yes, I am looking at the price, I'm looking at the equity and net operating income, but I'm not worrying much about cash flow, because
But Leo, how can you, when you just buying a property, how do you know the equity?
Equity means what? Down payment. What is the down payment?
Okay, the down payment. Okay.
That is the meaning of equity. I'll put another word for that, down payment. Okay. So now you know there is a property in the market. You know what is the price they are asking. And again, they may tell about the property features and other revenue and everything. So based on that, you can understand if there is any cash flow, how much. Then you can understand how much the net operating income. And based on that, you can decide this type of properties, how much down payment you may have to put. Either you can talk to a realtor or a mortgage broker or whoever, or the bank, you will decide the down payment, how much you need. And with all 4 things, you should decide whether this property is a good property for you or not. So that is the real thing that we are going to analyze in underwriting as well. So purpose of underwriting is, of course, analyze the opportunity to increase the value in every way by going through the financial information and increase the income and controlling the expenses in order to increase the NOI. As I told, capital gain is our ultimate game. That is why you are buying a property, means you cannot just see the numbers as of today and buy a property. As of today, it is cash flowing. As of next month, also cash flowing. But at the same time, it doesn't have any more price increase opportunity, means the net operating income may be the same. If the net operating income is same now as well as after 3 years' time, what sort of price appreciation you can expect from that property? Very, very unlikely. So for that reason, you may have to think about the future net operating income and future value. Okay, so that's I mean by that. So that is the purpose of underwriting. You have to really think what's going to happen for this property after 5 years' time or 3 years' time. Otherwise, you don't need to buy that unless it's very, very good cash flow. So type of underwriting, as I told, it's a quick underwriting. We already did that. We are going to do 1 or 2 questions now. And the second one, the purpose to determine the purchase price. That's the main thing. Second one is the cash flow, current cash flow. Third one is the profit or NOI and the exit time. So because based on the property analysis, you can decide by which year, if you exit this property by sale or refi, you can get the most of it. So that is a financial calculation, because that's why we try to take underwriters from accounting background or whatever, financial background, so that they can very easily understand that and future cash flow and present cash flow or even all the opportunities. So exit time is really based on that. What is the best time to exit? So we decide, for example, if a property has some commercial tenants, in 3 years' time, they are going to expire. By that time, that location is very attractive location. You can increase the rent, and commercial tenant, you can increase any amount of rent as long as it is market rent reasonably. And of course, if you can definitely get some tenants at that time, if this particular tenant goes out or give away just because you increase the rent, you will find that is the best time to sell that property, because you are going to get the new leases. And of course, you can put the new tenants, you will run it for 6 months or 1 year. So you, in the financial statement, you can show the new rent and everything. So the bank also think, okay, it's a stabilized rent. It is not just 1 month before they put the rent agreement. So they will be happy about it. At that time, the total net operating income will be much higher. So that may be the best time for you to exit. So these are the things that we look for in underwriting. And more than that, when you go for deep underwriting, you will be doing that personally. One. Second one, you may be thinking in terms of the bank. Third one, you will be thinking in terms of property manager, and sometimes as a mortgage broker. Because mortgage broker may put a deal to different banks, the A lender, B lender, C lender, or whatever. Because that depends on the urgency and the requirement and situation of the current buyer. So based on the buyer, they may decide it can go to A lender or B lender, it can go to with a CMHE loan or not, and like that. Everything will be determined by the broker. Based on that, they will do, we ourselves do that. Okay, so we'll do the underwriting. But at the same time, if I decide to give that to Scotia Bank or TD Bank, based on the bank requirement, we will do the underwriting again so that we know exactly how the bank is going to look at this property. For example, if I put about heating for each property, if I put about $30 heating, some banks may not accept. I know if a TD Bank is putting $60, means I had to put that $60. So like that, some banks will not accept one type of income, means I have to take their income out and again still see whether this property makes sense in front of the TD Bank or whatever the financial institution. So that is why we do that bank underwriting as well. And sometimes if you submit a deal to a bank and after that, if they say yes or no, you can still ask, how did you underwrite the property? They may explain to you. They will give you the reasons and what they took and what numbers they took, like that. The assumptions what they take may be fairly different than you or your broker's assumptions. So you can get to know that so that you will understand why they rejected that property or why they reduced the loan to value. And sometimes they will increase the interest rate just because of you. For what reason? You can ask that. So those are the background thinking that you have to know about underwriting. So we can do 1 or 2 questions in quick underwriting and we can go to the deep underwriting in the after lunch time. So quick underwriting, we call that as a napkin underwriting. That means without any time. Yes, go ahead. Yeah. So how do you underwrite a deal as quick as possible? You see a deal in MLS or in Kijiji or whatever, it looks attractive because it has about 5 units or 6 units or whatever, and you feel it is closer to your place or what reason, you are attracted towards that. So immediately you should be able to see whether it's a good deal to go ahead and see the property in person or what. So for that, generally the MLS or whatever will be giving you the average rent. If they give an average rent and if they tell how many units are there, you can simply understand how much is the annual revenue. And if there's any other income like rent, for example, parking or even any laundry income or whatever, or coin machines or what ATM machines or whatever, you can collect those rents. Then you will deduct 50% of that expenditures. They will give you the expenditure cost as well. So 50% of the expenditures, you will remove it. Then that is the balance. You can assume that as a net operating income. So that net operating income, you are going to divide that by the cap rate in the market. So you will understand what is the market value you are getting. If that market value is less than the price they offer, that is an overpriced property. So you will not probably buy that, or otherwise you will negotiate. Otherwise, if it is less, more, then definitely you will think this property looks something better, so that it is worth for you to make a trip or talk to the realtor and take the next steps. So that is the reason for the quick underwriting. Nobody is buying a property based on the quick underwriting alone, unless they know exactly the area or so many other reasons. Because if they are looking only for the land, they don't mind. They will knock off every property after 1 year or 3 years time. Sometimes if the property makes sense, till they carry the property, then they will buy blindly. But I never recommended that type of purchase. So quick underwriting is only to determine if a property is good or bad to purchase, so that they can go to the next due diligence and other things. So I wanted to give you a question by email. Unfortunately, my staff did not send that to you. If I can.
Leo, why is it minus 50%? I'm not an accountant, so.
Yeah, this is James.
This is Pastor Felix.
Felix, yes. Okay, so the reason for the 50% is typically the expenditures of a multifamily property may be around 40 to 50. But at the same time, this is a quick underwriting for us to take action faster so that you can avoid or knock off unnecessary unsuitable property. For that, we have to have a small measure. That's why we took 50%, but actually it may be 40 or 30. So when you really go into deep, it's different.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, why? What is included in the 50% normally? Most of the time, the properties may include utilities and property tax and water bills and other small bills and everything, and property maintenance and repairs, and sometimes the property managers expenditures, and everything will be coming. So if you add everything, generally the cost may be about 30 to 50%. So we put that 50% so that we will not be selecting a wrong property. If you put 40, sometimes you are running at a risk. So that's the reason we assume 50%. But if you can get all the real information, that is the best step. If you couldn't do that, only we assume this 50%. Okay, so I will just go ahead.
So is it minus 50% of the entire rental income?
50% of the rental income, yes, not actually 50%, because 50% of the rental income gross. But sometimes people will add the other income as well. Generally, if you really want to go conservative, it's always better to take only the rental income, not other incomes.
So just half of the rent, we take that.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Because half of the rent will normally go for the utilities and all of the expenditures. Balance half is for what? The balance half is the one for mortgage payments and your profit, and everything else as cash flow.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
So that's the purpose. So I will be sending you the one email very soon with the broker's call script, because for you to find the right property, you may have to talk to many brokers and realtors. And if you decide which area you want to buy your property or next property, you know exactly who are the realtors or the real estate brokers over there. Then you may have to call them individually. You may have to meet them individually. Then, of course, it may be easier for you to make a relationship. Then you can tell what sort of properties you are looking for. Then once they get to know about that, whenever they get a good property, they can send that to you. But for that, you should be in their good books. If you are starting your career, and sometimes if you tell that, probably they may not accept that, because they may have their old existing good tenant list. And of course, they may not feel like putting you also into that list. For that, you should be able to show your credibility and experience and knowledge and the network and everything, so that they can feel, yeah, this guy, even though he's starting, he is working with the group where many other people are there. They have enough down payment potential and everything. So they can feel comfortable and they may be able to send you the deals. For that, you have to really talk to many brokers. In the early stage, if you really decide to go much higher in real estate, and if you put a bigger number for next year or what, I'm going to buy 10 properties, whatever bigger, then you really must have a good relationship with the brokers, and you should be able to talk to the realtors in the proper way. Then only they will understand that, and then only you will be able to even get the right information for you. So that's why we put that as a broker call script. So I can just put that one here just to read, and then you will understand. I will send that by email also. First one, you can say, hey, I am calling about the property at this whatever the location. Then you can ask, okay, I would like to make some offer for this property. Is it still available? If they say yes, and of course, you can simply ask few questions so that you can get some more information. First question we ask is, how long is it on the sale? Sometimes you can check that in the MLS itself, how many days in the market. But you are not always talking to a broker or through MLS deals. There will be so many other ways of getting deals. And of course, you may be meeting the seller or even the broker. So you can ask a question, how long it is in the market. The second one, of course, you can ask why the seller is willing to sell. That's an important question for so many reasons. Then you can understand if there is any problem or if there's any desperation only from the seller's point of view. If there's a divorce or he is ill health or whatever reason, if he's selling, or he's moving away from one area to another area, if he's selling, maybe it's a good opportunity. So you should understand that. That's why we ask, why is he selling? And of course, then again, you can ask the fourth question, why do you think it has not sold yet? If it is in the market for about 50 days or whatever, you can even ask the realtor why it is not sold yet. It is in the market for 10 days or 20 days or 50 days. 10, 20 days are very short for commercial. If it is more than 6 months to 90 days, you can ask why. Then he will tell, or at least he will give some hints so that you can understand what is the mistake or where the problem or opportunity is. Because sometimes problem will turn as an opportunity. Sometimes opportunity will be hidden as a problem. So you should understand that. Okay, the other one is, you can ask, are there any immediate capital improvements needed? For example, roof or furnace or flooring or whatever. If you ask that, they will tell you, yes, we did everything, but except this. Then you can calculate how much would it cost you. So that's a fifth question, very important one. Next one, you can put, how much should dial in per unit for repairs? That's an easy thing because they know the property already. They have been keeping the property for years. So they can simply say, yeah, if you want to get a better rent, you may have to spend at least $10,000 to $15,000 for each unit. Then you understand. For that reason, you will do that. Other one is, how many units are there? You should understand that, because sometimes they may say there is 3 units, we did not rent it because it is broken condition or bad condition or whatever. If they tell like that, definitely you can make use of that, because that is a potential force appreciation question. So you can ask about that, and then you can ask whether it is rentable or non-rentable and why it is not rented, things like that. The other one is, of course, you can ask, is the existing loan is assumable? Most of the commercial loans, mortgages are assumable, but at the same time, the new buyer has to qualify. But for that, first the loan should be assumable, that the seller or the broker should be able to tell you. If you get a mortgage at Royal Bank, and if this is assumable, definitely it is a good mortgage. So you can take that, because now current mortgage rate is 6.7. But if somebody is selling a property with about 2.5 interest rate, fixed rate mortgage, and if he's willing to sell, who will not buy that? That's a great opportunity. So for that, you have to ask whether it is an assumable mortgage. Then you have to ask what sort of rate you have, because sometimes people may say, yes, it is assumable, but he may be keeping a property at a private mortgage, 9% interest rate. Who cares about that assumption or not, right? So you have to ask at what bank and what rate you have it, because sometimes they will not give everything in paper by the time you ask, because it's a starting conversation. At that time, you will get some idea. Some information will come only after you give an offer, or some information will come to you only after your offer is accepted. So in the purchase agreement, you have to put many clauses so that you will get all the information. So that we have to see that, because I told you what to ask in underwriting. You have to think about that. Because if you don't ask and if you sign up, sometimes they may not give you more than that information what you asked for in the papers. So that's how we put that, assumable or not, then the rate, terms and everything. And the next question is very important. How much is the loan? For example, I keep a loan at Royal Bank, but at the same time, my balance is only 200,000 at 2% rate. But now the property I'm selling is about $1.2 million. So you have to get about $1 million or $800,000 mortgage. So for that 2% interest rate of $200,000 loan will not help you much. You cannot get excited just because of that. So for that reason, you have to ask about how much is the loan and how long will it go, when is the maturity. So these are the very important questions for assumption of existing loan. The other one is, if I want to get a Royal Bank financing, is that something that the seller would work with me on time-wise? It's another good question, because so many creative real estate investors try to work with the existing sellers so that they can make a lot of opportunity in a different manner. Because some people will go and work with the investor or existing seller and put the selling price, selling date or closing date after 6 months to 9 months time. If that is possible, during that time, they will have a separate agreement and they will be able to do some renovation in the property. When they do the renovation in the property value will be totally different. So even though you strike up a price right now and closing date, but by the time you close 9 months time or what, the market value will be totally different. So you can just take some second mortgage or something, or even you can go for a private mortgage, not based on the current price, but based on the new appraised value in 9 months' time. So there are so many ways you can do that. For that, you have to speak to the realtor or seller and ask whether there will be some opportunity for us to work with them, with the seller. Some sellers are really cooperative. They can do that. They don't care how much money you make. They care only how much money they need to make. One. Second, they care about their exit strategy because they may have a better reason for them to get out of the deal. So at that time, they will not be greedy and check your plate how much you are getting. That is only very small, tiny buyers or investors are doing that. Nobody cares about how much other person makes. Only we care how much we make. So this is another important question. These all are coming only because people are more into lower down payment real estate and everything. If they are okay with investment or if they are okay with other investor partners, you don't need to worry too much about this. Okay, the next 11th question is, do you think the seller would be open to any kind of seller financing? This is where we try to come back to our VTB strategy or zero down strategy. You can ask that. Of course, normally we put some VTB training. That's a purely separate training, 2 hours we give it. Last time many people may have attended. Otherwise, next training we'll inform you guys. So this is an important question, but it is not a first time meeting question. You should not ask this for the seller or the selling agent when you talk to the first time, because they have to give a better understanding, or they have to get a better understanding, and they have to give a better respect towards you. For that, this question will put a full stop, because they think you don't have any down payment. They don't like to work with you. Before we talk about that, you should be able to talk about your passion and experience and skill and how many properties you bought, things like that. So when they respect you more, then only you can get more. Even banks won't give you a loan if your credit is bad, if your income is bad. But of course, you will be desperately needing some money, but at that time, the bank or nobody will help you. Because we always say that, yeah, if you really desperate to need money or desperate to beg, nobody will give you. If you don't need money, bank and credit card companies and everybody will give you. So that's why we say you have to ask for funds or financing, raising capital when you really don't need it. If you keep a property ready to close in 30 days time, at that time, if you go and ask your potential investors, they will say no. But if you go well in advance, I say, yeah, man, I don't need any money now, but I'm planning to buy properties next year. But I want to talk to you about that. Will you be interested? 90% of the time, they will say yes. Because 2 reasons, because you are not coming with a pressure. Second thing, yeah, because that's an easy soft yes for them. After that, they will have enough time to say no or whatever, so they will accept that. But if you go with the property within 30 days closing, they feel pressured. They will think they will miss a lot of missing puzzles. They cannot even identify that. So they will simply say no. So you should go well in advance and ask and keep your list faster grow. So last time I told you have to have an investor list. And I don't know how many people have any soft closes already or soft yes for any amount of investment for them to join you. Anybody can tell if you have anybody accepted you as an investor so that they are willing to work with you with the next property? Oh my gosh, why should my camera is? Sorry guys, my camera was off. Nobody told me to. Okay guys, so do you have anyone have any soft commitment from any potential investor? Active or passive, doesn't matter. Yes, I'm ready. I'll be investing 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 with you in the next deal if the deal makes sense. Anybody has?
Yes, I have one person who's indicated an interest, so they're ready to. I mean, it's a soft yes to commit $50,000. Yeah, we're friends, and we have a good relationship, and they're aware of my real estate passion and investing journey. So yeah, and I'm working on expanding within my friends and family, and then just expanding. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, so congratulations. And how many people in your list already that you are yet to call them or talk to them? Do you have a list for that? Accepted one is only one. but do you have a list to call?
Yes, I have a list. I've spoken to 4 people.
Okay.
I've spoken to 5. 4 have declined. I actually spoke to another individual a couple of days ago.
Okay.
And I have 2 other individuals on my list to contact and, just share my journey as well. And I'm also, I've learned from our previous lesson that we can leverage, your experience and the group and the team.
Yeah.
So, I think that's what I'm doing. And I'm just letting them know that although I'm learning, I'm also working with professionals who have decades of experience. And I think that's helping, to at least gain their attention. And so I'm just, working on refining my pitch. And then, yeah, I'll keep you posted.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So how many people in your list, Excel sheet or whatever?
Right now it's about 8 people total.
Okay. Yeah, that is only one way work, you have to put the people's name in the list. So that don't have to stop with 8. You can go up to 50 people, friends and family or whoever you think suitable. Because when you fearlessly ask, then only the results will, yes, will come. So if you have only 8 people in the list, that's not enough. So just make it a 40 or 30 or whatever biggest. Because it's only one way. You are just going to put that, okay, I can ask that uncle, I can ask this friend like that, Then don't ever assume that they will say no. Doesn't matter. So, but build the list more. At least, can you bring it at least 30 or 40?
Yeah, so I'm not talking to everybody. I'm talking to individuals I think, or I feel will be interested. And yep.
How do you know they will be interested? Or how do you know they will not be in a position to do that? Because nobody share their financials with anybody, even your sister, brother, nobody's financials, you don't know that. So we assume they may not be suitable. Of course, I don't want to talk to everybody, but at the same time, don't assume that they will not be there, because that is how we lose opportunities as well. Sometime after one time, they may say, yeah, you didn't tell me, so I didn't ask you, but they may have had $100,000 ready. So don't assume that, because you don't know really what they have. One of my friends said he used to work for Goldman Sachs or something. So one guy contacted them in the sales center or what, and many people, many other call center people did not respect him, did not answer him, or did not willing to meet him. But this guy was new, so he thought, yeah, what am I going to lose? I better meet him. But at last they got to know he got an inherited property, millions of dollars. So he was able to invest through him. So we cannot judge anybody just because their appearance or anything. So at least somebody will be there behind. If you are kind enough and knowledgeable person in front of their eyes, they will at least bring somebody else and tell, yeah, this guy has some money, why don't you talk to him? So chances are more, because you are looking so many bad properties to find the right property, right? Just because you are willing, you are able to do that. The same thing, you do it in investors as well. So don't discount everybody. But of course, some people you have to discount because some personality may not suitable. For that reason, yes. But other than that, don't discount everybody just like that. And try to bring your list up to 30. Okay, guys, anybody else have anything like that?
This is James. Besides the list of potential investors that we try to reach, do we have any referrals from your investors? Do we have any opportunity to get to know some of the investors that are working with you?
Yeah, because when you go, that is what I told you, this is coming with the experience and background. So when somebody starts an investment, most of the time their friends and family or people know them is the one willing to join. One. Second one, otherwise, if you go, especially when you try to get a soft yes, none of my investors or myself will simply say yes, because we are not seeing a property, we are only seeing you as a person. You are a nice person, but at the same time in real estate, you are just starting something even bigger. So not investors, just unknown people will do that one. Second, you should not simply go for unknown people because Security Canada laws are there. So they will see you have to work only with accredited investors, otherwise friends and family. So that is a starting point, but expanding your limits for a first property or second property doesn't really need some unknown people to associate with you unless you bring a good deal. If you get a good deal, that's an amazing deal, but it is too big to handle by yourself. At that time, if you come to me or somebody else, then we can tell, yes, man, this is my student or whoever friend, and he has a great deal. If you like, you can join. I'm also going to join. So that we can do it. But in advance for soft TSS, yes, it has to come from your backyard.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so the next one, anybody can disturb me anytime. Okay, the next one is, okay, the 12th one is, I would really like to find a value add deal, something not fully leased or something that needs a lot of work. But I would like to be interested in something with a solid track record of cash flow that will qualify a good financing. This is what you are telling your realtor, what you look for, what type of properties you are looking for. Most of the time, I simply say, yes, I want renovation potential. And if it is a bigger renovation, I'm still happy. Otherwise, that property should cash flow so that I can bring that deal to a proper bank. For example, that is the time where sometimes we try to buy a property with some lower cap rate. Even though the interest rate is high, if you can assume a mortgage or if you can get a reasonable mortgage, but if the cash flow is still positive, and in future you can add more units or you can build another unit in the same land, or you can serve the land and sell it half or what, you will be still interested, even though the cash flow is here and there a little bit plus or minus, right? So for that, you are going to pitch that to your realtor or potentially a realtor, saying what sort of property you are looking for. If the current property is not good for you, at least next time he will bring it to you, because some investors don't want any renovation potential. They will invest only in fully done, fully tenanted properties because they are savvy investors, and at the same time their plan is long-term game. So they don't want to waste their time in renovation. They'll dump the money and make sure, and after 10 years time, how much is the capital appreciation? So everybody's expectation is different. So you can pitch and you can ask for that. 13th one is, will you put me on your hot list and email so that you can get some information when you get a good deal? Yeah, if you ask, most of the time they will happily do that. The other one is, I will call you back with an offer, even if it is not a full asking price. Is that okay? Because you are putting that I'm not going to give you an asking price, but I will come with an offer. But is it okay? When they simply say yes, we can understand their intention. They don't expect a full price. They are expecting even lower. They are ready for negotiation. So that's what we try to read between the lines. That's why that question comes. So I will send that mail to you guys. Okay, and the other one is, of course, as I told, outbound call seller script, because sometimes we see the property on the list and Kijiji or MLS or whatever, then we try to contact the realtor. But sometimes we will try to make outbound calls to meet the potential sellers or sometimes the realtors. Sometimes we will simply call any realtor and ask, if you have any good property, let us know. If you are in this area, please let me know. I'll have coffee with you. So that is how you start the negotiation, because it all depends how big you want to grow, how much money you are committed, time you are committed to work on this, the foundations. So this is the call script for outbound calls. So you can simply go understand that. So I can just go through for 5 minutes, and then we can go to the next one. You can put that I'm calling about a property on the street, or do you have any other properties? And then you can simply ask if we are willing to give even a full price offer on this property. Are you considering anything? Because he is not putting that in the market, means he's not that serious. So at that time, you should be able to tell a good price or full price or whatever, because if that is listed in the market, you can talk as a full price. If that is not in the market, we can say I have a good price because my seller buyer is interested. Then they may listen to you, because every property in the market or not in the market is for sale when a good price comes. So sometimes it happens. Then they may say, yeah, if it's a good price, I don't mind selling because I'm not living in that property. It's only a commercial property. So they will say yes. So at that time, you can ask some more information because basically I need the rent roll and 12 months income and expenditure report. With that, I can talk to my buyer. So will you be able to provide that? Then just because you talk about a full price or good price, they may feel like giving you that because sometimes they may say only after we have an accepted offer, we will give you. So the way you ask, the amount of things you get. Okay, and then if they say yes, then you can ask few more questions. What sort of condition of the property, interior, and major capital improvements like those, whatever the question previously we asked, you can put that also. Then you can see that. And some people may say, no, I don't want to sell. If they have any personal reason, they may not say yes. Then you can still ask, is there any other property that you are willing to sell? If they say yes or no, good. Otherwise, again, you can ask. It all depends on the conversation you have. You can ask, do you know anybody who in your circle willing to sell a property off market? Then if they say yes, definitely you can go for it. So that is how we try to contact and expand our network. The next question sheet I will be sending you is apartment analysis form, a lead sheet. So there, because whenever you talk to a person or seller or the realtor, you should be able to identify the things in a paper. Otherwise, if you go and visit a property, you should be able to jot down the things and everything. So I will send you that detail also to you, so you can get that in the email. So now we can go to a case study questions for a soft appraisal first, 1 or 2 questions. Then we will be taking the rest in the deep analysis. So you can just write down asking price is 1.16 million. This name of the company or the apartment building is ABC apartment. And my question, will you be buying this property or not? Number of units 16. Average rent per unit 1,200. $180 per month laundry expenditures or laundry revenue. Vacancy 10%. Property is in Ottawa market. Okay, I don't expand the rest of the question for this because it's a quick underwriting or the napkin underwriting. Can you tell, will you buy this property with $1.16 million? 16 units property, $1,200 average rent. Vacancy rate in that area is 10%.
I'll buy the property.
Sorry?
I'll buy the property.
You will buy the property. Very good. Anybody else? Any other answers?
Yeah, looks like something we can buy.
Very good. Who is this?
Nishan?
Ishan, very good. We can wait 1 more minute, 1 more answer, then we will discuss this question. How about Marlon or James, Felix?
I'm still absorbing the information, kind of.
Very good. Okay, what I said is asking price is 1.16 million. The property is in Ottawa and it has 16 units. Average rent per unit per month is $1,200. And laundry income $180 per month. Vacancy 10%. Okay. So in the quick underwriting, what are we expecting? First, we try to get the gross revenue, especially the gross rental income and another additional other incomes. So that is our first purpose. So how much is the gross rental income? One property is average 1,200. It has 16 units. They did not tell anything else. One property is or one unit is vacant or what they did not tell. So we will multiply 1,200 by 16. That is a gross 100% revenue or rent per month. Then you have to multiply that by 12. So 1,200 multiplied by 16 multiplied by 12. That is a gross 100% rent. And they mentioned the vacancy 10% because some areas 5, some areas 10. So they mentioned this area is 10. So the gross income you have to multiply by 90%. So how much is that? 1,200 by 16 by 12 multiply by 90%. How much is that? Anybody can answer, give the answer?
$207,360.
Very good. 1,200 into 12 into 16 into 0.9, $207,360, right?
Yeah.
Anybody don't get that answer?
No, I didn't get it.
Okay, $1,200 per month and
Yes.
16 units. So multiply that by 16. So 1,200 multiplied by 16. Then 12 months, so multiply by 12.
Okay.
So that's 100% gross. That is about 230,000 something coming.
Okay.
Now you are multiplying that by 90%.
Mhm.
So you are getting 207,360. So that is the gross rental income.
Yeah.
And our assumption, 50% of that will be the expenditures. So can you take that 50% of that 207,360?
So 103,
Yes.
680.
103,638.
Okay.
Okay. So now, what's the next step? So this is the expenditure. 103,680 is the expenditure. So
Yes.
balance 50% is the net operating income, but we
Yes.
did not add one more thing. What is that? The laundry income. How much is the laundry income annual? Because per month 180 means annually how much? 180 multiplied by 12.
2160.
Correct, 2160. So if you add the 2160 with that 50% net income, how much is it coming? 105, how much? How much is the net operating income now? 2160 plus that original 103 till 360 something. So total is 105. How much? Marlon, you got the answer?
One of
105.
105?
Hi, Leo. I
840.
text you.
Correct. 105, how much come for other people? Can you divide that by 5% cap rate or 6% cap rate? So if you are to buy a property, I propose at least you go for 6% cap rate. Divided by 6% cap, how much is the value coming?
1,728,000. Oh, okay. So this is
1,728,000.
sorry, this is 105. So it's 1,764,000.
1,764,000 is coming based on this cap, 6% cap rate. Okay. 1,700,000. So now can you reverse this calculation? They are asking about 1.16. So yeah, so that means about $500,000 under market value property. So everybody will be willing to buy this property unless there is any other particular problems. For you to get that problem or understand that, of course, you have to get more information from the realtor and you have to visit the property, you have to inspect the property, everything. And if this is a property that is in the market really right now, you cannot wait any longer. First, you have to give an offer, or first you have to talk to the realtor and go and see the property and confirm that you are going to give an offer as soon as possible. That's very important, one. Otherwise, you can give a letter of interest or letter of intent, we can call that. So you can give that LOI, that is not a committed offer. So you can give an offer like that and they can accept that. So that means you are willing to give an offer with these conditions. And if the realtor or the seller say yes, then you can prepare the offer and give it, because preparing an offer will take time. Sometimes it will take money, because if you are working with your realtor, hopefully that realtor will do that. Otherwise, you may have to do it yourself or with your legal team or whoever. Otherwise, you have to talk to your lawyer. So it takes some time.
So I have a quick question, Leo. So, and this is where, and you'd mentioned you highlighted this earlier in the class, where we focus on we shouldn't focus on one strategy. So one of the like for me, I'm one of those individuals who was attracted by the zero down payment strategy. And as I've highlighted with you in our discussions, private discussions, capital isn't something that I have right now. After my first rental property, I don't have a lot of cash, and but I believe I can scale by learning more. And so, say for example, I see this property in the market, I don't have that cash down payment. I haven't built my list, so pretty much I'm not ready to take this opportunity. Is that the case?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, in that case, what can you do?
Exactly. That's my question.
Yeah, very good. So first of all, finding a great property itself, a job of a real estate investor. If you can do that part well without any of your money, only by putting your effort and look the market and talk to the realtor, first of all, you can even just give a letter of intent or interest to the realtor or the seller saying, hey man, I can give an offer to you for this property and I can close it in 3 to 4 months time or what. And of course, these are the conditions. You can put that. But before that, you may have to make sure this deal is a great deal. Of course, price-wise, it is great, but we don't know what is behind the scene. So it is all depend on the question that you are asking to the realtor or the seller. Once you ask the question, still if you feel it is good, then you can just go and visit the property. And after that, you can meet the realtor. And of course, you can just give a letter of interest or otherwise write away an offer. But the offers, as a real estate investor, we always put an offer with some conditions to escape from that. Second one, with a condition, that means the name will be changed. For example, it's an assignable offer. Whatever purchase agreement you put it, you can assign that purchase agreement to somebody else or some other company or whatever. So if you get an offer for $1.1 million, and in between, within 3 weeks' time, if you find another investor who is willing to invest, who is ready to buy, who has down payment, who can qualify for a mortgage, you can just wholesale that deal to him for another $50,000. You can simply ask, I got an offer, closing expected in 4 months' time. It's a great deal. And of course, I don't have down payment, or I'm working on another project. I'm a little busy, so I cannot give 100% time on this. So I'm okay to wholesale. So why don't you take the deal? Give me 50,000. So lawyer will take care of the paperwork. You will get 50,000 as wholesale or assignment property, and he will get the property. One. Otherwise, you can talk to the realtor, the investor, and say, it's a great deal, but I don't have much down payment or whatever to put in this deal. But of course, I can put $50,000 no matter what. But will you partner with me? Then you have to talk about the terms. If that is okay, you can work through the lawyer and accountant or what. Then you can prepare an agreement and go ahead. Or otherwise, within that 4 months' time, you can just look for more investors. If you have a real good deal, then if you already have about 30 people in your list, don't you think that you can attract at least few of them for this deal? So that's why
Yes,
we have
so-
to have the list. Yes.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, we have to kind of take a leap of faith and just be ready to put in the work to find investors. But first of all, we have to go in and secure the deal any way we can.
Definitely, because it doesn't matter that you have to do the equity first or the deal first, but you can go parallelly. But at the same time, you will get the sensible step in the right time, because if you don't have enough investors and if the deal is very good, at least you will be asking a longer closing date. One. So within 4 months' time, you will be having full confidence, because within 6 months' time, I want everybody of you to buy a good property. In that case, within 4 months' time, can't you close it? Definitely you can, but it should make sense. You should make a real offer. It should be a great deal. Then, of course, you can do that. So at that time, down payment should not be a problem. That's why I say, yes, within this group itself, you mingle and talk and make some relationship so that it's possible. Up to now, you are searching. You couldn't really find a great property, right? Otherwise, it's a tiny property. So you know the value of a great property. So that is going to come only with the relationship and your effort. So when you come with a good property, of course, other investors will give you for that at least 10% equity they can give without any deposit. For example, you bring a property like this, it's $500,000 lower market value. And if you say, just because I brought this property, give me 50,000, I give it to you, or otherwise give me 10% equity out of this so that I will not put any down payment for that. The balance I will put equal partnership or whatever. It is all negotiation, right? When you bring a good deal, you can negotiate in any way, and of course, people will give and take. But in the early stage, first, second properties, don't try to be greedy, but try to give more to the others. So the next deal, they will be waiting for you to invest.
Leo, just want to ask a question here.
Yeah.
In this particular example that you explained, right? So you mentioned that balance 50% is NOI, right? And in the NOI, you added the other income as well, like 180 multiplied by 12, right?
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes.
And then you divided this particular NOI plus the other income divided by 6% cap rate, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, because I was not able to. Did you multiply 180 by 12 and then 12 or what?
No, 180 is the total gross laundry income in a month.
Oh, okay.
So that you have to multiply only by 12, no anymore 16 or anything.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, who is
Thank
this
you.
speaking?
Leo,
This is Gopal.
Gopal. Okay, nice one. Yes.
Leo,
Okay, that's
how
good.
do you calculate the cap rate?
How do I calculate the cap rate? In this question, I did not calculate the cap rate. I got the off-market information because in Ottawa, average cap rate is about 5 plus around. So I wanted to get 6% as the cap rate for my conservative calculation. But if you want to calculate the property cap rate, you have to have your net operating income. Most of the time, the investors or seller may give you. If they give the net operating income, and if they give you the purchase price or expected sale price, then you divide that operating income by the sale price. Then you will get the cap rate. So that is the cap rate of that property. For example, in this example, if the net operating income is $120,000 and the asking price is 1.16, you can calculate that property cap rate. $120,000 net operating income divided by $1.116 million is 10.75. If this assumption is the real life example, $120,000 income, net operating income, and 1.16 is the price, asking price, the cap rate will become 10.75. So it's an amazing cap, but you know in current Ottawa market, the average cap rate is 5 to 6. So if you take 6% cap, whereas this property has 10.75% cap, means what will you do? You will fly to the property and give the offer, a firm offer with cash offer, because you should be able to attract a seller right away. So if you get a property like this, and if you still can find 45 days of financing and everything else, they may say no. So you have to, at that time, you have to put a 1 or 2 conditions only, and you should be given quick closing. Otherwise, you should talk to the realtor or the seller and see what sort of closing terms he is willing to expect. For example, he expects only after 3 months closing because he is in vacation, then you have to give a longer closing. If he is expecting a quick closing, you have to give a quick closing. So that means at that time, you should give a solution to the seller. You should be able to solve an additional problem of the seller. Selling a property is the major problem for him. He wants to solve it. Second one, through that, he is going to solve another problem, maybe a divorce or another property or vacation or retirement or something. So you should be able to solve that second problem as well. Then you will be able to attract and get a deal. So that's the answer, Marlon. So the cap rate is available for each market. You can get that from online or whatever. I think I sent one email, or otherwise I will send one more email regarding the area cap rates. And for each property, how will you calculate that property cap rate? Net operating income divided by the market value or asking price. So if that cap rate you are getting is more than the area cap rate, hopefully it's a good deal. You will talk and see further information. If it is less than that, most likely you will not go for it. Otherwise, you will check why this is coming this way. What is the reason he is asking a higher price for a lower cap property? Then they may say, no, this property has an additional land that is another 2 acres. You can even divide that and you can even build a 10-unit multifamily. Already an offer is there, or drawing is there, or approval is there, like that. They may tell. So that's an additional opportunity. That doesn't make money right away, but that's an opportunity. In that case, you will jump and give another price offer. So that's how you have to deal further, because just because the price is wrong or what alone will not stop or should not stop you looking for a deal. Got it?
Get it? Yeah.
And how much
Okay.
cap rate is considered good?
It varies to place to place. In Toronto, it's about 2.5 to 3.5% is the cap rate average for good investments. But at the same time, in Ottawa, it is about 4%, 5% to about 6%. If you go further, it can be more, higher cap rate. So the cap rate goes with the risk. General assumption is lower cap rate is in the lower risk market. High cap rate is coming in high risk market. And medium cap rate is coming with the medium risk market. The medium risk market we tell as hybrid market. Hybrid market will have cash flow potential as well as price growth. Lower cap market will have market appreciation potential, but cash flow will be negative or low. High cap market will give more cash flow, but less or no market growth potential. So this is the general assumption. Now it is changing because of COVID and work from home environment and things like that, but it's a general assumption. High cap means high risk, but high cash flow. Low cap means low risk, but less cash flow or no cash flow.
Got it. Thank you.
Welcome. Any other questions?
Yeah, so when you say the cap, you're actually talking of the capital gain, right? Capital gain rate.
No. Who is this talking?
Pastor Felix again.
Felix.
Yes.
Yes. Cap rate is not capital gains. Okay. Cap rate is the indicator we are using to value commercial properties. Okay. Capital gains is totally different. That is a profit out of a real estate or a capital property. So capital gains is totally different, but here it's a calculation number. Based on that, we evaluate a property. So cap rate is totally different from capital gains.
Well, if I can take them for the rest, yeah.
Yes.
I can take.
And cap rate, you can assume Toronto, the cap rate is about 3 to 4 maximum, you can assume. And Ottawa area, we can say about 5 to 6. Other surroundings, it's about 6 to 7 or what?
Is that speaking the girls or something?
Sorry. And Felix, you didn't even book up any one-on-one. If you really want more clarification, you can book a time because you joined and still we didn't talk individually. You can book a time or my staff will call you too.
And Neil, last question.
Yes.
Last question I have, as you mentioned that cap rate is generally calculated for commercial properties, right? I just want to ask, like cap rate could also be done for single family houses, townhouses or other properties? And if yes, then how it varies, like maybe property type to property type?
Yeah, because you can calculate that even for single family or townhouses, but even previously somebody talked to me about that. But even if you calculate that, nobody will respect that numbers and negotiate with you. Because the cap rate is fairly applicable for commercial properties more than 5-unit residential or commercial properties. So for your understanding, you can just use that even duplex or single family, but that is not the way anyone value a property, a single family.
Got it.
Yeah, not even single family, even up to 4-plex, not everybody is taking that cap calculation.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
So
you.
I think that question is fairly good. I will give one more question and we can take a lunch break, because after the lunch break, I will send some email regarding this question. So we'll go into the deeper underwriting, and at the same time, you can use those questions for the deep underwriting things.
Okay, one more question I need to ask is,
Yeah.
now the market value, right? Would that
Yes.
always be the appraiser value or just the asking value?
Asking value is different, appraisal value is different, market value may be different. So appraisal will give you probably the market value when you place an appraisal. But at the same time, asking price is the real price the seller expects. Not every seller is expecting the exact market value. If they are desperate to sell that, they will put less than market value. Otherwise, if they are not in a rush to sell a property And if they have very big opinion about their own property, they may even ask more than the market value. So that is why we have to underwrite the deal based on our numbers and determine whether the property is good or bad. So the asking price is just coming from the realtor or from the seller. Unfortunately, even sellers, or sorry, the realtors don't even educate the sellers, because seller is asking, my property is 6plex and I want $2 million. If the seller say, yes, are you fool? In this market, you cannot sell that price, and this is only this much of income, and your net operating income is coming this, so the cap rate is this, so the market is going to be only 1.4. Sometimes the seller will not accept you as a realtor. They may say, get lost, I will sell it myself, or I will sell it to another broker. So another broker will come, he will understand the same thing, that is true. But at the same time, he will simply say, okay, we will list it for 2 million. Then he get the deal. After some time, when there is no offers coming to the hand, then the seller itself understand that. And again, he himself will tell the realtor, hey man, this doesn't work. Shall we reduce the price? At that time, the smart realtor will explain, man, the reason is this, but you didn't listen to me, and I couldn't even say no because you are the owner of the property, so I listed. But actual price for this is only 1.6. If you are interested, you put it 1.4 and then get a multiple offer, or put 1.7 and let it for negotiation. But if you want to sell quick, you have to listen to me. There is a time for you to talk. There is a time for the seller to talk. So that is the reason market price is totally different from the appraisal value or the market value. Right?
Get it?
Very good. Okay, guys. The next question we put as Windsor Manor. That's a property name, and asking price is 3.5 million. It has 40 units. Average rent is $1,000. Laundry income is $720 per month. Vacancy, again, 10%.
Can you repeat it again, Leo?
Yeah. The property information, Windsor Manor, and asking price 3.5 million. 40 units. $1,000 per unit average. Laundry income, $720 per month. Vacancy rate, 10%. Will you buy it or not? If you buy, what would be your best price?
I will buy the property.
Wow, great.
And my estimated market value will be just over $5 million.
Just over $5 million. Okay. So what would be your cap rate based on this pricing right now?
6%.
No. That is your calculation. Based on this price and based on this net operating income, what's the cap, the property cap rate?
I'm not sure how to calculate that now.
Because there are only 3 variables. One is net operating income. Other one is market value or asking price. Third one is the cap rate. If you know 2, you can get the third one. So it's an exchange of the formula. Net operating income cap rate equals to NOI divided by asking price or market value. So now I am asking the cap rate. So you have the market value or the asking price 3.5 million. How much is the net operating income?
The net operating income is $302,000, $302,400. So I didn't add the side,
Laundry.
yeah, the laundry.
In the net operating income, you must add the laundry income, because we are going to pick up a penny picker, because every single penny you can save, you are going to save. Every single dollar you can increase, you are going to increase. So net operating income is the biggest focus on for a real estate investor. You will not simply neglect $720 per month. Okay, so you have to add that also into the NOI.
Okay, but from our previous training, I know that this is important when we are selling or doing our underwriting, but for negotiating with the
Very
sellers.
good. Yes, amazing. Yeah.
So
when
we
you try to
take it out.
negotiate with the seller, you will try to show the less income, and you will simply, that laundry is not that great. We had to renovate everything. It's all old crap. We don't care. We don't count that. Yes, that's good approach. But when you to really see that net operating income, you will add that value, because $720 per month means how much is the market value contribution there? 720 into 12 is about $8,640. Divide that by 5% is about $172,800 is the market value, just because of that utility, the laundry. Because some people don't understand that if that is old or what, some old investor, they may tell, okay, that is not working, and just throw that away. So the property manager will remove all the laundry and say no for the customers or the tenants, saying we are not going to run that because that is not working, so much of repairs, things like that. If they understand the market value is $172,000 of that, they will not do that. Okay, so based on that total cap, total revenue, net operating income, how much is the revenue, NOI?
$224K,
124K.
224.
224K. Very good. So that is including the laundry income as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So 224K divided by how much?
To get to their price of 3.5?
Yes. No, to get that cap rate, property
Yeah,
cap rate.
they're using 6.4 cap rate.
Okay, 224,000 divided by $3,500,000 is equal to 6.4 cap rate. Yeah, they are asking 6.4 cap. And Sadiq, you said that you will give up to 5 million on based on what you can give 5 million. $5 million looks like a very high price, don't you think? Because the current revenue is 224,000, including the laundry income. And at our cap, you can say 5 to 6%. So conservative side, we are taking 5%, 224,000 divided by 6% cap. 3.733 is the max price we can give based on 6 cap. If you give more than that, it doesn't make sense. Anybody has any question or doubt about this one?
I have a question, please.
Yeah, who is this?
It's Eve. My
Can you
question
name
is,
it? Yeah.
I'm sorry?
What's your name?
Eve.
Eve. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. My question is why when we do the NOI, why do we not take in consideration also the mortgage payment?
Very good question. Anybody can answer this?
Because it's considered as an expense too.
Of course, very good. But why we don't take that in the calculation? I know why. Anybody can answer? Sadiq?
Is it because the assumption is that you're bringing a cash equivalent investment and that's the return that you would get?
This is Ken.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, because mortgage is fairly subjective to person. If you have a good credit, you can get a good mortgage rate. If you have a bad credit, you have to go for a higher interest rate. And if you don't have anything, then you will go for private mortgage. Here, the property value cannot be subjective to the person's situation and the mortgage qualification. Because a monthly mortgage payment going to be totally different to person based on their down payment, percent of their credit, and everything else, right? So how can I value my property based on your credit or whatever the qualification you can go for a mortgage? If you put more down payment, the NOI is going to be different if I include that mortgage payment as that. Of course, mortgage payment is an expenditure, but that is the only expenditure which is subjective or related to the buyer's capacity or whatever. So if I add that, one person may say, yeah, my interest rate is 7%, so my net operating income is 40,000. Other guy will come and tell my interest rate is 12%, my one is negative in NOI. So how are you going to price it? And nobody cares. Now, seller don't care about your personal qualification for a mortgage and what rate you are going to get the mortgage. So that is the reason we just put it away. So net operating income will never include the mortgage payment, whether it is first mortgage or second mortgage or private or whatever, or even a VTB amount payments. And that is the only thing. Debt service is the only thing we try to avoid or eliminate from NOI calculation. Then person to person, the capacity to capacity, you can decide. For example, you have a bad credit and you don't have anything else. And of course, you will never qualify for a good mortgage for so many reasons. Then if a property is coming with 6 cap, still you will feel bad. You will not take it. Even 7 cap, you will not take it because your mortgage interest is going to be 9% and you don't have down payment also. Then every month you have to spend about 9% of the purchase price, whereas the bank is going to give you only 7% mortgage. So one person may accept the deal, one person may not accept the deal because the future potential for a property is common. That doesn't change you buy or he buy. Of course, it will change the way you are going to renovate the property. Other than that, if you both assume you are not going to change anything in the property, keeping that for 3 years or 5 years as it is, based on the buyer and the interest rate, future property value will not change. But monthly cash flow will be changing. So you cannot sometimes afford to keep the property, or you can sometimes. So that is person to person. That is the reason net operating income doesn't count or calculate with the capital or debt service. Got it?
Thank you very much.
Welcome. So anybody else has any question regarding this last question?
So I have another question.
And
Yes, who is that?
this is Gopal.
Gopal, yes.
So in this case, that cap rate has come 6.28, right?
Yes.
Because we have divided 219,888 divided by 3.5 million, right?
Correct.
And the cap rate has come 6.28.
Correct.
And
So will you buy it?
how did you make a decision that whether we should buy it or not?
Yeah, first of all, you will see the market cap rate is 6%. If it is 6.24, for you to buy a property, it is somewhat better than the market cap. So you can take a decision, yes, I will buy this property. Then you will see if you buy with 6.24, will it really going to be a good deal? So that is the next analysis. We have to go deeper in the deep analysis. Then you will be able to decide whether you really buy that property or not. Because I told you as a real estate quadrant, we will be thinking about the purchase price, net operating income, equity requirement or the down payment requirement, and the cash flow. So here, if you think the cash flow should be always positive, then what you have to do? You may have to put little more down payment. If you put little more down payment, and if you can get a rate mortgage about 5.5 or whatever 6%, because variable is very little higher, but fixed rate is still about 5.3 to 5.5. if you can get that 5% somewhere mortgage, then again, the cash flow may be a little negative sometimes because you are going to pay principal and interest, right? For that reason, the cash flow may be negative. But if you put little more down payment as an equity capital from the partners or yourself, you can make that cash flow positive or break even. Is it possible or not? So that is the next decision you will be doing. But why should you do it? That's the biggest question. If you think, as we said, capital gains is the ultimate game in multifamily, and in 3 to 5 years' time, for sure, I'm going to get that capital value more or market value more than that, and that is about $1 to $2 million, then you may think of going for this. If you feel that is not possible, it's going to be break even only after 10 years' time, then sometime you may not go for it. So underwriting is not just one matter of cap rate alone. We have to focus all 4 aspects of that.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So
Thank
with
you,
that,
Leo.
we can stop this. Thank you. We can stop this morning session and we can join back again 1 o'clock or 1:15, depend on your preference. And I can send these questions to your email. I hope my staff will have all of your emails. So within 10 minutes time, you will have these questions. So we will discuss that in the evening.
And can we also
And,
join, like, we got an invite till 12:30. Can we also join the afternoon session or not?
Evening session is only for our inner circle members.
Okay.
I couldn't continue like that because it's not fair for us. So, but anyhow, my staff will contact you guys also, and but they will send these questions and everything to you, everybody who participates.
Okay. And will we get the recording for this session?
This session recording, I will make it available. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Leo.
Okay, welcome. And of course,
Leo,
others-
Leo, this is James. You
Yes.
promised that you get a first mastermind last month, but we didn't have the recording.
Okay. I will check that and send back to you. It should be in the website. We have to put it. I will talk to my guys and make it available.
Okay, and does it come edited with all the breaks taken out, or everything is included?
Yeah, it should be taken off those ones and done that, because normally right after an event we try to give it unedited version, and after that the edited version should be added to our website in the inner circle meeting space. So I will make sure that it comes to you.
But did you say that they are all on the website?
Yes, we'll put that in the website. Some of them it should be in the website. I didn't check it for the last 1 week, but I will make sure that today.
Okay, all right, thank
And
you.
one of my staffs will contact you also.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anything else,
I have a
guys?
question.
Yes.
Question, please. So in the afternoon, when you say 1:15, is it going to be the same link that we have to use, or?
No, there were 2 links. I think you were given. So the evening session will be another Zoom link. So all the inner circle members should have got that in the email, first email itself. If you don't, I will ask them to send you back again.
Thank you.
It's a different email. And guys, those who participated here, if you are interested to continue this is not on one session, it's going to be a 12-month session. And at the same time, next month, we are going to have a 3-day boot camp. There will be learning everything, because here you can understand we are going deeper, but at the same time, if you go this way every month, when you are going to buy a property, my target is within 6 months, right? So the next month, 16, 17, 18, we'll be covering everything in a fast manner so that you can really move forward to buy properties. But right after that, every Wednesday, we will be discussing for 2 hours on each property or whatever you are bringing, so that you should be able to buy that property within 3 to 4 months time maximum. That's our plan. But at the same time, I don't simply propose everybody should just rush and buy a property, but every time when you see a property, and if you can make it understand it's a sensible, good property, you don't need to wait till the market hits to the rock bottom. Some people just wait like that, and they don't know when it is going to hit. Very next day or very next month or what, it can pick up. So you cannot wait for the deep down pricing. So you have to go and buy right properties in the right manner. Then every year, every month, you can continue buying properties. Only thing, you have to make sure that property you can keep it for long term, because sometimes you will think and buy a property, you are going to flip it within a month's time or 6 months time by doing some renovation. But that is good. But at the same time, you can make a good money out of that. Even then, don't ever think that is the strategy alone. Sometimes you may have to keep a property for longer period of time because of market or the renovation delays or so many reasons. Sometimes city may close your construction. So always think long term and see whether it is possible to keep the property for long term. What is the strategy? Then you buy properties. But for that, it is the best time to learn, so that definitely you can find great properties no matter what. Yeah. Did
Finally,
anybody ask a question? Go ahead.
do you have samples of templates for this calculation or the formulas that we need just for reference purposes? Do you have any template?
Calculation of what?
Like the NOI, cap rate, and all of that, the formula that we use.
NOI
do you have any
calculation.
template that we can?
Oh, yes. Actually, I can send some at the same time. You will be getting the handbook very soon. We will be
Okay,
having
good.
all these calculations. It takes some time, at least 3 weeks to 1 month, but we will be putting everything as a booklet and giving it to you. It's about 150 pages.
Okay,
So
good.
there you will have everything. But don't hesitate to do anything. If you are really taking action, I'm there with you. Everybody, call me. You have enough calls we gave for this January and February group, so that you can call me anytime, one-on-one or 10 minutes call or whatever. So
Okay.
don't delay
All right.
any
Thank
of your progress just because of that.
Leo, I want to speak to you regarding something. So can I talk to you now? After
Is it Gopal or who is this?
Yeah, Gopal.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I just want to speak to you personally. Yeah,
Okay, then you have my number?
and not really.
Okay, my number is 647
647.
709
Mm-hmm.
1536.
1536. Okay, Leo.
Okay, guys. So this, if you are interested to join this continuous program, you can just call me or you can contact me, or otherwise my staff will send some information. I really say that because this pricing, whatever we are giving now, will be going up to $20,000 to $25,000 by December. Because I know the market price of other coaches giving is that high, but I started lower because my focus is to make money from real estate investment, not by coaching. But at the same time, I know my time value, so I cannot just keep like that. So I will, every 2 months, we are increasing that by 2,500. There is no secret. So this month and March month, we'll be keeping that $7,500 for the 6-month program, $10,000 for 1-year program. In April month, it is both of them will be going high by $2,500. But in this month and next month, the difference is not the price, but the features, because I'm giving number of calls, one-on-one and all more now. In the March month, we will reduce that. So that is how I try to go and save my time. So if anybody interested to join me, just talk to me anytime, call me anytime. Within this month, you can get more number of hours personally and things like that. So I hope everybody can enjoy this. If you want any changes in my coaching or the way I'm explaining, if you really want me any improvement, please give me a comments either here or even in person, because I really appreciate that. I'm teaching and coaching for more than 20 plus years, but I will be making many mistakes. I really appreciate your comments if you have any. Okay, guys.
So 115.
115 is good. Yes. Okay. In between, I will send you the information so that you will have the questions in your hand. Okay. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions? Okay, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Oh. One 305.
Hey guys, we are going to go for this VIP link. So you all have the link, please log in. So this email, this session is going to be over now. So all you got the VIP links, please log in. I think we got Gopal, the new member here. So he became a paid member for this 6 months coaching, VIP coaching. So welcome Gopal. So you also have the new Zoom link. Please come on there. Within 1 minute or two, we'll be there. Thank you. I log off this one. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Welcome.